Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales. Chapter 455. At the same time. On a mountain outside the city, two men and a woman stood side by side. They were Lu Tingting, Lu Feng, and the masked man. The masked man asked, "Where is Lu Xingqian's body?" Lu Tingting said, "We don't know. After Lu Xingqian and the ancestor died, the inner palace didn't send their bodies out." The masked man said, "It seems that they are buried somewhere in the inner palace. If they are really buried in the inner palace, there is nothing we can do. Because the inner palace is in the Extermination Mountain range. Also, there are two palace lords there." Lu Feng said. "It doesn't matter. With the help of the Sand Whale Emperor and the Demonic Snake Emperor, even if the two palace lords find us, they can't do anything to us. The most important thing now is to find the coordinates of the inner palace. After all, the Extermination Mountain range is too far and too dangerous. We can't force our way in." The masked man said. Lu Tingting asked, "Do you have a plan?" "No plan. We just need to keep an eye on the Dong family. Once the Dong family leaves the city, we will catch them off guard." The masked man sneered. Lu Feng said, "What about the coordinates?" "You are so stupid. I don't even know why the master spared your life. Think about it. There are so many old monsters in the Dong family. How can they not know the coordinates? Even if those old monsters don't know, there is still Dong Qing. Don't forget, she is a real inner palace disciple." The masked man sneered. Lu Feng clenched his fists and glanced at the masked man. There was a trace of viciousness in his eyes. Lu Tingting looked at Lu Feng and sighed deeply. She said, "Lu Feng, you stay here and wait for us." The masked man raised his eyebrows. Lu Tingting looked at the masked man and said with a smile, "The two of us are enough to get information. We don't need a burden." "Burden?" The masked man was stunned. He nodded and said with a smile, "That's true." "Bastard!" Lu Feng cursed and shouted, "Lu Tingting, what do you mean? He looks down on me. Even you look down on me? You have to know your own place. The Lu family is gone, and you are no longer the young master of the Lu family. If you continue like this, you will die. Stay here and reflect on your actions." Lu Tingting said indifferently, then sped down the mountain. "Did you hear that? Reflect on yourself. Don't lose your life if you're not careful." The masked man sneered and chased after Lu Tingting without looking back. Lu Feng looked at the backs of the two, his hands tightly clenched together. His gaze was as gloomy as water. He had been pampered since he was young, so he was proud and arrogant. He had long since become used to looking down on everyone. Even if the Lu family was destroyed, he would still think that he was superior to others. It was only at this moment that he realized it. He was no longer the old Lu Feng. Right now, he was just a pitiful worm who was desperately struggling to survive. He no longer had the right to look down on others. He felt helpless, desolate, pained, angry, and lost. He didn't know how long this kind of life would last. Who knew what would happen in the next moment? At the base of the mountain. The masked man caught up with Lu Tingting and said, "You will break his heart if you do this. That's all I can do. Because he's too naive, too stupid. I have to let him see clearly how cruel this world is and how difficult it is to survive." Lu Tingting said. The masked man was silent for a while, then said, "Do you think he can understand your painstaking efforts? If he wants to survive, he must understand." Lu Tingting said coldly. Who knew Lu Feng better than her? Other than his talent, there was nothing good about him. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he was a useless person. She also couldn't figure out why that mysterious master didn't kill him. However, she had no choice now. She could only do her best to protect Lu Feng. Because now, only she and Lu Feng were left in the Lu family. Prison. Fan Jian's cultivation had already broken through to the 9-star War Emperor. At this moment, his entire body was immersed in an uncontrollable excitement. The 9-star War Emperor, this was simply an extravagant dream for him in the past. However, he didn't expect that with just a single pill, in just a dozen breaths of time, he would actually step into the realm that he dreamed of. Not only that, he could even feel that the bottleneck between the War Emperor and the War Master had been broken. Stepping into the War Master was just around the corner. Although this Qin Feiyang was young, he was truly an extremely terrifying figure. Because, as long as Qin Feiyang was willing, he could create a large number of 9-star War Emperor, or even War Master. Such a person could only be a friend and absolutely not an enemy. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Who? He let out a long breath and cupped his hands. Brother Qin, this fan will never forget your great kindness. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. Wolf King urged, now is not the time to be polite, hurry up and change your appearance, don't waste time. Fan Jian nodded, yes, let's go quickly. Wolf King said, we're going out just like that? Aya, look at my memory. Fan Jian suddenly slapped his forehead and laughed awkwardly, I'm sorry, I was a little too excited and lost my mind. Understandable. Qin Feiyang laughed, took out a appearance-changing pill and handed it over to Fan Jian. Qin Feiyang also changed his appearance into Fan Jian's, and Fan Jian even gave him a set of armor to wear. As for Wolf King, he hid inside Qin Feiyang's armor. After everything was ready, the two of them walked out of the prison one after another. Greetings, guard captain. The 8 people guarding the door bowed. Fan Jian nodded and said coldly, Fan Jian and I are going out for a while, you guys watch carefully. Yes. The 8 of them respectfully replied. Whiz. Fan Jian waved his hand and brought Qin Feiyang with him as he soared into the sky. Qin Feiyang frowned and asked, you're going to fly over just like that? You know, the teleportation gate is very expensive. With my economic foundation, I can't afford it. Fan Jian scratched his head in embarrassment. Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed, and said, stop, I have a teleportation gate. Fan Jian slammed on the brakes and stopped in midair. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and was about to open the teleportation gate. Wait. Fan Jian stopped him and said, Brother Qin, you're a 4-star combat emperor. Isn't it inappropriate for you to pretend to be me? Qin Feiyang asked, is the Dong family familiar with you? Fan Jian said, I don't have much interaction with the Dong family. Qin Feiyang laughed, then it doesn't matter. But when you talk to the Dong family later, you have to be careful, don't let the cat out of the bag. This, Fan Jian hesitated for a while and said, I think it's better for you to tell me in advance. After all, I'm not as smart as you. Qin Feiyang thought for a while and nodded, all right, then we'll fly over. I'll tell you on the way. Whoosh. Fan Jian once again swept up Qin Feiyang and quickly disappeared without a trace. Half an hour later, the two of them landed in front of the Dong family's gate. Greetings, guard captain. The 4 servants who were guarding outside the door bowed and said. Fan Jian nodded expressionlessly and said, do I need to report? No need. Master has already ordered that as long as it's the guard captain, there's no need to report. Please come in. The 4 servants smiled flatteringly. Let's go. Fan Jian called out to Qin Feiyang and walked toward the gate. Qin Feiyang was about to step forward. How is this possible? But at this moment, Wolf King's surprised voice sounded in his mind. Qin Feiyang was secretly shocked and asked, what's the situation? Wolf King said, there are 2 familiar smells here. Whose? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Wolf King said, the masked man and Lu Tingting. What? Qin Feiyang's body trembled. He turned his head abruptly and looked at the street behind him. On the street, pedestrians were coming and going, but they were all unfamiliar faces. Qin Feiyang said to himself, "Are you sure? Impossible. I may be mistaken about the masked man, but Lu Tingting has been chasing me for so long. I will never forget her natural fragrance." Wolf King said decisively. "That's strange. Why are there smells in the Dong clan? Did they sneak into the Dong clan?" Qin Feiyang frowned. Wolf King said, "No, they didn't sneak into the Dong clan. Their smells can only be found on the street. Then what do they want to do?" Qin Feiyang's eyebrows were tightly knitted together, and he was extremely puzzled. Fan Jian walked into the gate of the Dong clan and found that Qin Feiyang didn't follow him. He turned his head in confusion and asked, "What are you doing?" "Guard captain, wait for me." Qin Feiyang said with a smile, then turned and ran to an empty alley, and took Fatso out of the castle. Then he pulled Wolf King out of the armor and said, "Let's split up. I'll go rescue Yi and Aunt Shui. You and Fatso go and investigate them." "Wait, investigate what?" Fatso said hurriedly. Because Qin Feiyang and Wolf King were communicating with each other through their minds, they didn't know the situation yet. "The white-eyed wolf will tell you. Remember, we must not let them slip away this time." Qin Feiyang gave a death order. Wolf King chuckled, "Leave it to me. After you find out, send me a message as soon as possible. Be careful." Qin Feiyang warned again, then turned and ran towards the gate of the Dong clan. Fatso and Wolf King also immediately took action. With them taking action, Qin Feiyang could deal with the Dong clan without worry. Fan Jian was still waiting for Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang arrived in front of the gate, tidied up the armor on his body, and walked through the gate. He and Fan Jian walked down a long corridor, one in front of the other. "Brother Qin, what are you going to do?" After walking for a while, Fan Jian couldn't help but ask in a low voice. Qin Feiyang whispered, "Wolf King found the masked man who massacred the Lu clan." "What?" Fan Jian's eyes trembled. "Don't make it public. I've already asked Fatso and White-Eyed Wolf to investigate. I believe there will be a result soon." Qin Feiyang said. "With Fatso taking action, we definitely won't be able to escape." Fan Jian laughed in a low voice. He was very confident in Fatso. Qin Feiyang looked at him in surprise, then shook his head and laughed. He lowered his head and pondered while walking towards the conference hall. It was definitely not a coincidence that the masked man and Lu Tingting appeared at the same time. That was to say, after the masked man took Lu Tingting away, he didn't make things difficult for Lu Tingting. Instead, he made Lu Tingting his accomplice. But there was a problem. The masked man was the executioner who slaughtered the Lu family. How could Lu Tingting be willing to be with him because of the hatred of exterminating her family? According to Wolf King's observation, the masked man was not strong. It was the sand whales that were strong. Sand whales. Thinking of this, Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up. That was right. The masked man was not as strong as the sand whales. How could he control the sand whales? That was right. Chapter 456. If this speculation was true, then why did the mysterious expert want to destroy the Lu family? Did he have a deep grudge against the Lu family? But why didn't he kill Lu Tingting and Lu Feng? Was he interested in their talents? Impossible. Qin Feiyang didn't know about Lu Tingting's talent, but Lu Feng was a good-for-nothing with no value to cultivate. Qin Feiyang had too many doubts in his mind. After a while, Fan Jian said in a low voice, "Brother Qin, we're here." Qin Feiyang raised his head and saw a majestic hall in front of him. It was the Dong family's meeting hall. At the door, there were 2 guards and 4 maids waiting for her. Phew! Taking a deep breath, Qin Feiyang temporarily cast aside the thoughts in his heart and followed behind Fan Jian, walking towards the main hall. "Greetings, Captain." The guards and maidservants bowed in greeting. "Yes." Fan Jian nodded and asked, "Where are your patriarch and patriarch?" One of the guards said, "Please take a seat inside, we'll inform them immediately." "Okay." Fan Jian nodded and led Qin Feiyang into the hall. "Take good care of the captain." The 2 guards warned the 4 maidservants and left in a hurry. 2 of the maids went to prepare tea. Fan Jian laughed. It seems that Wei Zhongyang is respected in the Dong family. Snakes and rats alike. Qin Feiyang sneered. Ugh. Fan Jian was stunned, then he shook his head and laughed. He sat on a chair and pointed to another chair. "Sit. I'm your confidant now, I can't sit." Qin Feiyang shook his head. He walked behind Fan Jian and stood there with his back straight. Fan Jian felt awkward. Although he was a 9-star combat emperor, he was afraid of Qin Feiyang from the bottom of his heart. Qin Feiyang said in a low voice, "Don't be nervous, be careful." Fan Jian took a few deep breaths and asked in a low voice, "Can you guarantee that the Dong family in Wei Zhongyang will be defeated?" Qin Feiyang nodded. Fan Jian breathed a sigh of relief. He was afraid that Qin Feiyang was not confident. Because now, he was basically Qin Feiyang's accomplice. Once he failed, Wang Hong would look into it. Even if he was a 9-star combat emperor, he wouldn't be able to survive. After waiting for about 100 breaths, Old Monster Dong and Patriarch Dong finally arrived at the main hall. The Dong family's patriarch cupped his fists and smiled, "Brother Wei, we are honored by your presence. Why didn't you inform us in advance? We would have gone to welcome you. Brother Dong, you're too polite." Fan Jian stood up and greeted him with a smile. Patriarch Dong hurriedly said, "Don't get up, just sit down." After Fan Jian returned to his seat, Patriarch Dong looked at Qin Feiyang and asked suspiciously, "Brother Wei, who is this?" Fan Jian smiled and said, "He is my confidant. His name is Fan Jian, and he is completely trustworthy. You don't have to worry about him." Despicable? Patriarch Dong and Old Monster Dong looked at each other with strange looks in their eyes. How could there be such a strange name? Patriarch Dong smiled and said, "Brother Fan Jian, since we are all on the same side, then don't be polite. Sit down and talk." Qin Feiyang said, "It's okay, I can stand." Patriarch Dong didn't say much and sat on the main seat with Old Monster Dong. Old Monster Dong said, "Brother Wei, you suddenly came to us. Is there something wrong with Qin Feiyang?" "Something wrong?" Fan Jian was taken aback and said disdainfully, "Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue are in our hands. Can he still make waves?" Hearing this, Old Monster Dong and Fan Jian suddenly laughed. Patriarch Dong said, "Then have you talked to him?" Fan Jian said, "I just finished talking to him." "What's the result?" The 2 looked at him nervously. Although Wei Zhongyang repeatedly assured that Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue were Qin Feiyang's Achilles heel, judging from Qin Feiyang's actions in Zhou City, he was completely a ruthless person. They really had no confidence in their hearts. "Don't worry, he has compromised." Fan Jian smiled faintly, reached out, took out a jade box from his arms, and put it on the coffee table. Old Monster Dong was surprised, "What is it?" Fan Jian said, "Potential pill." The 2's eyes lit up. Patriarch Dong immediately got up, walked to Fan Jian's side, grabbed the jade box, opened it, and was immediately stunned. N. Seeing this, Old Monster Dong stepped forward suspiciously and was also stunned. How is this possible? There are actually 3 elixir patterns. And there are a total of 10. Fan Jian said, Qin Feiyang has long been able to refine elixir with 3 elixir patterns, but he has been hiding it. Not many people know. The two took a deep breath. How could this little beast's alchemy talent be so amazing? In fact, these elixirs were refined on the way here. After all, Qin Feiyang carried the elixir fire and the elixir furnace with him. It was only a matter of minutes to refine 10 elixirs. And these 10 potential pills were bait. How is it? Very tempting, right? I heard that the last potential pill with 2 elixir patterns auctioned by Precious Treasure Pavilion was sold for around 20 billion. And I heard that Precious Treasure Pavilion is going to start auctioning again in a few days with a starting price of 30 billion. And the potential of 3 elixir patterns will definitely double again. If you sell these 10 potential pills, even if you are banned by Precious Treasure Pavilion, it will be enough for your Dong family to survive for decades. Fan Jian said with a smile. Survive for decades? The two of them trembled both physically and mentally as their eyes shone brightly. Old Monster Dong gulped and asked, Old Brother Wei, are these 10 potential pills for our Dong family? Fan Jian put away the jade box and said indifferently, What are you guys in a hurry for? As long as we have the elixir recipe for the potential pill, why worry about not having enough? Yes, yes, yes. Brother Wei is right. Then, is he prepared to give us the elixir recipe? The two of them asked excitedly. Sigh. Fan Jian sighed deeply and said helplessly, You guys also know that Qin Feiyang has a treasure to hide in. Although he can't escape from prison, I can't do anything to him. Old Monster Dong nodded. Fan Jian said, He told me that he must see Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue with his own eyes before he is willing to give us the elixir recipe. Family head Dong shook his head and said, This won't do. This little beast is full of tricks. If something happens, won't we fail at the last step? Old Monster Dong said, Yeah, we can't take this risk. Qin Feiyang, who was standing aside, frowned imperceptibly. Fan Jian lowered his head, frowned, and said nothing. In fact, he didn't know what to do next. Qin Feiyang glanced at him, looked up at Old Monster Dong and Luo Qianxue, and said with a smile, You two don't have to worry. Although Qin Feiyang is treacherous, as long as you don't let him get close to Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue, he can't do anything. Yes. With me here, what are you afraid of? Let me tell you, I want to kill him more than you because he caused me to lose everything. My son died because of him. This time, I not only want to get all the treasures on him, but I also want to end his life. As for Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue, they will also die afterward. Strong murderous intent and resentment emerged in Fan Jian's eyes. Heard about it. Old Monster Dong and Luo Qianxue also fell silent. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He looked down at Fan Jian and said respectfully, Guard Captain, it seems that the Dong family still doesn't trust you. We have to consider this matter at length so as not to be used as a tool. Family head Dong hurriedly raised his head and looked at Qin Feiyang, Brother Fan Jian, you can't simply say this. It's not that we don't trust Brother Wei, but because Qin Feiyang is too difficult to deal with. We must eliminate all possibilities in advance. Yes, yes, yes. This is a misunderstanding. Brother Wei, don't take it seriously. Old Monster Dong also looked at Fan Jian with a flattering face. Now, Wei Zhongyang was the key to keeping Qin Feiyang in check. The relationship couldn't be strained. Otherwise, it was very likely that the Dong family would end up in a situation where they went for wool and came home shorn. Is it really a misunderstanding? To be frank, the current Dong family is no longer what it used to be. At most, it is only a first-class family in the state capital. The guard captain can come to you in person, which is giving you enough face, but you repeatedly refuse. Is this the sincerity of your Dong family? I also want to ask, if the plan succeeds, will the pill formula of the potential pill belong to our guard captain? Or to your Dong family? Qin Feiyang said. Fan Jian nodded and said, yes, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, we need to discuss this issue in advance. This, Old Monster Dong and Fan Jian looked at each other, feeling a little anxious. It seems that you have never seriously thought about this issue. In that case, wait until you think about it before coming to the guard captain. Guard captain, let's go. Qin Feiyang said. Fan Jian nodded, got up, and took out a portal. This portal was also given to him by Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang did this to force the Dong family to hand over Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue. He also believed that the Dong family would definitely compromise. Because in the current situation of the Dong family, they did not dare to fall out with Wei Zhongyang. Sure enough. Seeing that the two were about to leave, Family Head Dong and Old Monster Dong began to get anxious. They quickly got up and stopped the two. Old Monster Dong smiled and said, Brother Wei, don't be angry, let's have a good talk. Fan Jian said blankly, with all due respect, with your current attitude, I can't sit down and have a good talk. Yes, this is indeed our fault. Well, for the sake of safety, let's have someone pretend to be Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue to meet Qin Feiyang. Old Monster Dong smiled apologetically. Pretend? Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. Still not giving up? You're courting death. The corner of his mouth lifted, and he sneered, do you think Qin Feiyang is a fool? If he is so easy to fool, how can he bring down your Dong family and the Lu family? Letting someone pretend to be them will only backfire. Family Head Dong and Old Monster Dong looked at each other with a trace of helplessness in their eyes. At the same time, they felt very unbalanced in their hearts. Why is this little beast so difficult to deal with? Compared with him, the children of the Dong family can't even catch up with him. Old Monster Dong let out a long sigh and said, well, let's listen to Brother Wei. I believe Brother Wei can handle it properly. Fan Jian was overjoyed and smiled, don't worry, with me here, they can't run away. Old Monster Dong nodded and smiled, Brother Wei used to be the county king of Yen. I definitely trust your ability, but you have to wait a while because Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue are not in the Dong family now. Not in the Dong family? Qin Feiyang's heart shuddered. If not in the Dong family, where would they be? Could it be, suddenly? There was a flash of light deep in his eyes. Chapter 457. Fan Jian wondered, then where are they? Old Monster Dong whispered, they are in the Mansion Master's mansion. What? Fan Jian's eyes widened. Qin Feiyang's pupils also shrank abruptly. It was unbelievable to the extreme. Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong are actually in the Mansion Master's mansion? Isn't this too unbelievable? Could it be that the mysterious combat master is the Mansion Master? Impossible. The Mansion Master would not do such a thing. But apart from the Mansion Master, who else can hide Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong in that mansion? Could it be, is it one of the 10 commanders under the Mansion Master? Qin Feiyang looked at Fan Jian and gave him a subtle wink. Fan Jian understood. He looked at Old Monster Dong and said angrily, are you crazy? If the Mansion Master knows about this, we will all be finished. Captain, don't be nervous. Since they dare to do this, they must be confident. It's even possible that this matter is related to the Mansion Master. If this is the case, it means that the Mansion Master also dislikes Qin Feiyang's actions. This is a good thing for us. Qin Feiyang smiled. He and Fan Jian echoed each other in order to let Old Monster Dong and Old Monster Dong reveal the identity of this mysterious combat master. Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, both Old Monster Dong and Old Monster Dong's expressions changed. Family head Dong said, Brother Fan Jian, don't say this again. If the mansion master hears it, we will be finished. What do you mean? Does the mansion master not know? Then why do you still dare to imprison them in the mansion master's mansion? Fan Jian was shocked and angry. Brother Wei, don't worry. The mansion master doesn't know anything. And the most dangerous place is the safest place. No matter how smart Qin Feiyang is, he will never think that Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong would be in the mansion master's mansion. Old Monster Dong laughed with a hint of pride on his face. These people are too daring. Fan Jian muttered secretly. At the same time, he sneered in his heart. They thought that their plan was flawless, but little did they know that Qin Feiyang was right in front of them. It seemed that the Dong family was no match for Qin Feiyang, no matter how smart they were. It was a wise choice to stand with Qin Feiyang. He could even foresee how miserable the Dong family would be in the future. Cough cough. Qin Feiyang glanced at Fan Jian, clenched his fist, and coughed dryly. What happened? Fan Jian and Old Monster Dong both looked at him doubtfully. I'm fine. It's just that my throat is a little uncomfortable. Qin Feiyang smiled and looked at Fan Jian meaningfully. Fan Jian thought for a moment and understood. He turned to look at Old Monster Dong and said, Who is guarding them? I want to know if this person is trustworthy. Brother Wei, don't worry. This person is absolutely trustworthy. However, he requested that we not mention his identity to anyone. So, I hope Brother Wei can forgive me. Old Monster Dong cupped his hands and said with a trace of apology on his old face. This, Fan Jian was hesitant. He couldn't make up his mind. Qin Feiyang said in a low voice, My lord, since Ancestor Dong has said so, then in my opinion, you shouldn't ask any more questions. After all, we're all on the same boat right now, and we need to make money peacefully. Family Master Dong smiled and said, Brother Fan Jian's words are right. Harmony breeds wealth. Fan Jian nodded and said, Well, bring Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue here first. As for the distribution of benefits, we will discuss it slowly after the plan is successful. Okay. Old Monster Dong and Old Monster Dong were also overjoyed. Family Master Dong looked outside the door and shouted, Go and tell the Grand Elder to go to the mansion of the Mansion Master immediately and bring the two women here. Yes. One of the guards responded respectfully, then turned and left quickly. Old Monster Dong smiled and greeted, Brother Wei, come on, let's have some tea. Fan Jian nodded. Old Monster Dong returned to his seat, picked up the teacup, and took a few sips. He was about to say something, but suddenly, he looked at Fan Jian in surprise. Qin Feiyang noticed it at the first moment, and his heart couldn't help but shudder. Old Monster Dong said, Brother Wei, your aura seems to be a little stronger than last time. Although his cultivation was now crippled, he was once a one-star battle grandmaster after all. His eyesight was still there. However, due to the awkward atmosphere before, he didn't notice it until now. But when he heard Old Monster Dong's question, Qin Feiyang secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Because he had guessed early on that it might be seen through, so he had already told Fan Jian what to say. Fan Jian smiled and said, Not long ago, I broke through to the 9-star combat emperor. Really? The two were surprised. Fan Jian nodded. It's really worth celebrating. In this way, our strength is undoubtedly stronger. But Brother Wei, you can't be careless. Qin Feiyang and Ruffian Wolf are not easy to deal with. I am the best example. Family Master Dong warned, his face full of resentment. If it wasn't for Wolf King and Yen Nanshan who crippled him an old ancestor, the Dong family wouldn't have fallen to such a state today. This hatred was absolutely irreconcilable. I will be careful. Fan Jian nodded solemnly. Old Ancestor Dong put down his teacup and said, "Brother Wei, this old man has a presumptuous request." Fan Jian smiled and said, "There's no harm in saying it." Old Ancestor Dong said, "Can you give us a few potential pills first?" Fan Jian immediately frowned. "Brother Wei, to tell you the truth, my Dong family has a genius disciple who is very talented. He is now a 9-star combat emperor. I want the potential pills to fulfill his wish." Old Ancestor Dong said. The Dong family's current situation could be said to be very bad. They must cultivate a battle grandmaster as soon as possible. Because a family must have a battle grandmaster to be able to establish a foothold in the capital. And the potential pills were undoubtedly the fastest way at present. Fan Jian thought for a moment and asked, "Are you talking about your eldest grandson, Dong Zhengyang?" "Yes, it's him." Old Ancestor Dong nodded. As long as the door of potential was opened, with Dong Zhengyang's talent, it wouldn't be long before he could step into the battle grandmaster. "Dong Zhengyang," Qin Feiyang muttered. It seemed that when he returned to the inner hall, he would have to properly inquire about this person's situation. His eyes flashed slightly as he looked at Fan Jian and smiled, "Sir, allow this subordinate to say something. Since you and the Dong family are cooperating, then you definitely can't take all the benefits for yourself." "That's true. The benefits should be divided equally." Fan Jian took out a jade box, took out 5 potential pills, and threw them to the two of them. His eyes were filled with reluctance. One had to know that this was an astonishing amount of wealth. If these were his pills, he wouldn't give them to the Dong family even if he was beaten to death. Ancestor Lu and Patriarch Lu were ecstatic as they hurriedly grabbed them. Shua! At this moment, a powerful pressure descended out of thin air. Following closely, 3 figures appeared. One of them was the great clan elder, and beside him were 2 women. One was a beautiful woman, but time didn't leave too many traces on her face, and her charm was still there. The woman next to her was no more than 20 years old. Her skin was whiter than snow, and her hair was draped over her shoulders. Her facial features were like a masterpiece of heaven, exquisite and peerless. At this moment, they were all imprisoned by the great clan elder's pressure. Looking at Qin Feiyang and the others in the main hall, their gazes were as cold as ice. When Qin Feiyang saw them, killing intent surged from the depths of his eyes, but he instantly concealed it. Because these 2 people were Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi. Moreover, both of them were in a very sorry state. Not only were their eyes unfocused, their faces were haggard, and there was even a trace of blood at the corner of their mouths. Old Monster Dong glanced at the 2 of them, then looked at Fan Jian and smiled, "Brother Wei, I've brought them to you. You must take good care of them." Fan Jian said, "Just put your heart at ease." Patriarch Dong asked, "Brother Wei, when Qin Feiyang sees them, what do you plan to do with them?" Fan Jian smiled and said, "Let's look at the situation. If Qin Feiyang wants to play any tricks, I will send them to you. After all, there is no place safer than the mansion master." "Yes." Old Monster Dong and the other 2 laughed. Brother Feiyang, when Lin Yi heard the conversation, her eyes trembled slightly, and she asked, "Where is Brother Feiyang?" "Brother?" Old Monster Dong was stunned and joked, "It seems that your relationship with Qin Feiyang is really deep. Don't worry, because you will see him soon." Luo Qianxue said, "I know Feiyang's temper very well. You will definitely regret it." She looked at Fan Jian again and said, "Especially you, Wei Zhongyang. What a joke, he can't even protect himself now. What can he do to us?" Old Monster Dong and the other 2 sneered suddenly. In order to act, Fan Jian also showed a disdainful look at Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong. He got up and said, "Okay, let's not talk nonsense. It's time to find Qin Feiyang for the final negotiation. Be sure to tell us the result as soon as possible." Old Monster Dong also got up hurriedly. Fan Jian nodded and said, "No problem, but I am very puzzled. Why is the person in the mansion master helping us?" Old Monster Dong smiled and said, "He has a good relationship with me." Oh. Fan Jian suddenly realized. He was afraid of exposing himself, so he didn't ask any more. He opened a portal and said to Qin Feiyang without looking back, "Take them. Let's go." "Yes." Qin Feiyang responded respectfully. He walked to Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong, grabbed each of their arms with one hand, and said coldly, "You better cooperate with me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless." After speaking, he dragged the two of them and walked toward the portal. After Qin Feiyang and others left, Old Monster Dong's old eyes suddenly flashed with a cold light. Family Head Dong said gloomily, "Old ancestor, this person is too arrogant. We have to teach him a lesson." "Don't worry. As long as we get the potential pills pill formula, not only Qin Feiyang and Ruffian Wolf will die, but Wei Zhongyang will also die. Because that person will not allow anyone to snatch the pill formula from him." Old Monster Dong sneered. Family Head Dong and Grand Elder also showed a murderous intent. Outside the city. Above a certain dense forest, 4 figures appeared out of thin air. It was Qin Feiyang and others. "Go down." Qin Feiyang glanced below, waved his hand, and took Luo Qianxue and Old Monster Dong into the dense forest below, landing on a black rock. Then Qin Feiyang let go of Lin Yi and Old Monster Dong. He stood opposite the two, looked at them, and frowned slightly. Fan Jian stood behind Qin Feiyang, watching silently. "What?" Luo Qianxue frowned and said coldly, "Bringing us to the wilderness, do you want to kill us?" Chapter 458. Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi looked at each other, their eyes full of suspicion. Fan Jian was also very puzzled. Didn't he spend so much effort to save these 2 women? Now that they were rescued, why didn't Qin Feiyang speak? Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He looked at Luo Qianxue and said, "How do you and Qin Feiyang know each other?" Luo Qianxue said, "Why should I tell you?" Qin Feiyang's eyes burst with murderous intent, and he said coldly, "If you don't answer, I will kill Lin Yi." "I understand." Fan Jian suddenly realized. It turned out that Qin Feiyang was afraid that the 2 people in front of him were impersonators, so he didn't reveal his identity immediately. This guy is really cautious. No matter what, he does it flawlessly. However, Luo Qianxue was silent. Lin Yi also looked at Qin Feiyang fearlessly. "You don't want to say it?" Qin Feiyang smiled coldly, pointed to Lin Yi, and said, "Kill her." Fan Jian nodded and rushed towards Lin Yi. Luo Qianxue's face changed drastically, and she hurriedly said, "Don't kill her, I will tell you." "Say it." Qin Feiyang shouted, his face filled with impatience. Luo Qianxue sighed deeply and said, "In Iron Ox Town, we were bewitched by a villain to besiege Qin Feiyang, but in the end, he not only broke out of the siege, but also kidnapped my daughter." "Who is the villain?" Qin Feiyang asked. Luo Qianxue said, "Lin Bailey." "It should be fine." Qin Feiyang murmured, but for the sake of safety, he asked again, "What happened later?" "Later, he let my daughter go. When I learned the truth, I felt guilty and wanted to make it up to him. So, I asked my daughter to send him some compensation, but he didn't accept it." Luo Qianxue said. "It can't be wrong." Qin Feiyang murmured. Because only he, Luo Qianxue, and Luo Qingzhu knew about the compensation. He looked at Lin Yi again and said indifferently, "How did you become friends with Qin Feiyang?" Lin Yi said, "I was born in the same year, same month, and same day as brother Feiyang. This reason is enough." "Enough." Qin Feiyang nodded. But suddenly, he noticed a bracelet on Lin Yi's wrist. However, this bracelet was very ordinary in both design and quality. It was obvious that it was a cheap item. Qin Feiyang found him somewhat familiar. After thinking about it carefully, he figured it out. It turned out that this was a cheap gift he gave to Lin Yi on her birthday. He didn't expect this girl to wear it all the time. Silly girl. Qin Feiyang mumbled to himself and smiled, "Show me your fire phoenix." Lin Yi was surprised and asked, "How do you know?" Qin Feiyang said, "Don't worry about how I know." Lin Yi's eyes were full of doubts. She took out a jade pendant from the clothes under her neck. The jade pendant was fiery red with a lifelike fire phoenix carved on it. "That's right." Qin Feiyang whispered with a smile on his face, "Aunt Shui, I'm sorry to trouble you." The two were taken aback and looked at Qin Feiyang vigilantly. Luo Qianxue said solemnly, "If you want to kill or torture, do as you please. Don't play tricks." Qin Feiyang took out a facial restoration pill, threw it into his mouth, and quickly restored his true appearance. "Feiyang. Brother Feiyang." Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue glared at him in disbelief. "After you were kidnapped by the Dong family, Uncle Yen came to inform me immediately. It's all my fault. If I had killed Wei Zhongyang earlier, none of this would have happened at all. I'm really sorry. Fortunately, you are all safe." Qin Feiyang blamed himself. "Brother Feiyang, it's really you." Lin Yi came back to her senses and burst into tears of joy. She threw herself into Qin Feiyang's arms. Tears moistened his chest in an instant. "Don't cry. I'm here. Everything will pass." Qin Feiyang patted her on the shoulder and comforted her in a low voice, but his heart was even more uncomfortable. In the past few years of separation, Lin Yi's feelings for him not only did not decrease, but also became deeper and deeper. But he really only had a sibling relationship with Lin Yi. "Child, you don't have to blame yourself. Yi and I are too incompetent to drag you down," Luo Qianxue said with a smile. His dim and lifeless eyes became extremely spirited at this moment. "Aunt Shui, if you say so, I feel even more sorry in my heart. Before Uncle Jiang Zhengyi died, he repeatedly asked me to take good care of you and your mother, but Qingzhu." When Qin Feiyang said this, the self-blame in his eyes became stronger. Luo Qianxue's eyes dimmed again, and there was sadness between her eyebrows. She forced a smile and said, "Don't mention the past, as long as everyone is fine now." Qin Feiyang nodded. "N?" Luo Qianxue suddenly looked at Fan Jian, with a trace of doubt on her face, and said, "Feiyang, he shouldn't be Wei Zhongyang, right?" "Yes. He is a friend of mine, named Fan Jian. This time, it's all thanks to him that I was able to successfully rescue you. And, when I saved Uncle Yen, he also helped a lot. It can be said that he is my great benefactor," Qin Feiyang said with a smile. "Brother Qin, aren't you treating me like an outsider? If it weren't for you, would I be able to step into the 9-star combat emperor? To be honest, you are my great benefactor," Fan Jian said. While speaking, he also took a facial restoration pill to restore his true appearance. Luo Qianxue cupped her hands and said, "Thank you, Senior Fan Jian." Fan Jian hurriedly said, "Don't call me that. I can't afford it. If you don't mind, you can call me by my name." Luo Qianxue smiled, but her heart was filled with emotions. Thinking back to when she was in Iron Ox Town, Qin Feiyang was just a young child. How many years has it been? She didn't expect that he would have today's achievements. Even the 9-star combat emperor was polite to him. She turned to look at Lin Yi and said with a smile, "Girl, your brother Feiyang must have a lot of things to do. Don't stay in his arms. Heard it." Lin Yi's cheeks suddenly turned red. She broke free from Qin Feiyang's arms and stood beside Luo Qianxue. She lowered her head and grabbed her belt with both hands. She was very embarrassed. Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed in spite of himself. He said, "Aunt Shui, go to the ancient castle first. Lu Hong will tell you everything. Wei Zhongyang is also imprisoned in the ancient castle." Luo Qianxue nodded. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and was about to send the two into the castle. But Lin Yi suddenly raised her head, ran to Qin Feiyang, and took the initiative to kiss Qin Feiyang's face. Ugh! Luo Qianxue and Fan Jian also looked at each other. Qin Feiyang was also a little stunned. But in the next moment, there was a sharp pain in his heart as if it was about to be torn apart. His face also turned pale instantly. At the same time, the concentric knot on his chest also emitted a ray of bloody brilliance, but it was covered by his clothes, so no one noticed it. Oh no! Qin Feiyang felt bad. This concentric knot would really prevent him from being intimate with other women. However, this kind of pain quickly disappeared. "Brother Feiyang, what's wrong with you?" Seeing Qin Feiyang's face instantly turned as pale as paper, Lin Yi was frightened on the spot and panicked. Luo Qianxue and Fan Jian also looked at him with concern. "I'm fine." Qin Feiyang waved his hand, then waved his hand and sent Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi into the castle. Fan Jian frowned and said, "Brother Qin, what's the matter with you? Maybe it's because I fought with the Lu family in the past. The internal injuries left behind haven't healed yet." "It's fine." Qin Feiyang smiled, and his face was quickly recovering. "It turned out to be like this. You scared me." Fan Jian patted his chest and asked, "What's the next step?" Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and said, "You don't have to worry about the next thing. Continue to pretend to be Wei Zhongyang. Go back and cultivate in seclusion. Break through your cultivation and step into one-star battle master." Fan Jian's body shook, and his eyes became fiery. Battle master. If it was in the past, he didn't even dare to think about it. Fan Jian asked, "What about you?" Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered, and he said coldly, "I want to find out the masked man." Fan Jian frowned, and said, "Then I'll stay and help you." Qin Feiyang shook his head, "There's no need now, because only when you step into the battle master will you be able to truly help me." "Alright then, be careful." Fan Jian nodded, took out the jade box, and handed it over to Qin Feiyang, and said speechlessly, "You're really generous, giving the Dong family 5 potential pills at once." "It doesn't matter. In any case, the potential pill is already useless to me. You can keep these 5 potential pills. It just so happens that you can also open the first 3 stages of the Gate of Potential." Qin Feiyang faintly smiled. "For me?" Fan Jian was startled. "However, to open the Gate of Potential, you need the assistance of pressure. And with your current cultivation, you still need the pressure of the Battle Master." Qin Feiyang thought for a moment, and said, "Go to the temple to find Yan Nanshan first, tell him that I told you to go, he will help you." "Alright. Brother Qin, thank you. Thank you so much. If there's anything you need help with in the future, just let me know. Even if I have to climb a mountain of blades, I, Fan Jian, will not frown." Fan Jian's voice was sonorous and forceful, his eyes filled with gratitude. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Let's build a contract bridge, it'll be convenient for us to contact each other in the future." Fan Jian nodded. The two of them took out the image crystal, and after building the contract bridge, Qin Feiyang gave Fan Jian a few more teleportation gates. Then, Fan Jian opened the teleportation gate and went to the temple to find Yan Nanshan. Qin Feiyang looked at the teleportation gate that disappeared with a smile on his face. Once the Gate of Potential was opened, it was equivalent to being reborn, and Fan Jian's future achievements would definitely be limitless. As for Fan Jian, although he was not very talented, after a few interactions, he was indeed worth nurturing. That was because Fan Jian was an honest and loyal person. Most importantly, Fan Jian really wanted to be friends with him. And he would definitely need help to enter the imperial capital. Although there was Fatso, Lu Hong, the Pangolin, and Wolf King, it was far from enough. Therefore, it was better to take advantage of the resources in his hands to cultivate a force that belonged to him. For example, Lu Yun, Yan Nanshan, Ren Wushuang, including Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi, these were all potential stocks that could help him greatly in the future. Chapter 459. After collecting his thoughts, Qin Feiyang took out the image crystal stone and sent a message to Fatso. But after waiting for a long time, there was no response. What's going on? Qin Feiyang frowned. The white-eyed wolf was a tracking master, and Fatso was also meticulous. It stood to reason that he should have tracked them down long ago. Did something happen? It shouldn't be. The white-eyed wolf's combat power was unparalleled, and he carried 2 ribs with him. Even if he was chased by War Master, he could probably escape, let alone the masked man and Lutingting. Phew! Qin Feiyang exhaled a long breath. His figure flashed and entered the castle. Wei Zhongyang was lying on the ground with his last breath. His body was bloody. He didn't look like a human or a ghost. As soon as he saw Qin Feiyang coming in, he struggled to get up, knelt at Qin Feiyang's feet, and begged, "I was wrong. Please give me a way out. I will be your slave for the rest of my life." Qin Feiyang said faintly, "Your cultivation is now crippled. What qualifications do you have to be my slave?" Wei Zhongyang said, "Although I am a cripple now, I can help you plan. Aren't you an alchemist? I can help you sort out the herbs or something." Qin Feiyang said faintly, "No need. You don't need to do these. Do you really want to kill me?" Wei Zhongyang roared hysterically. His blood-stained face was full of hatred and despair. "Can you be quiet?" Qin Feiyang kicked Wei Zhongyang and knocked him out on the spot. Lin Yi looked at Wei Zhongyang in disgust and said, "Brother Feiyang, why don't you kill him directly?" "I can't kill him yet." Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Aunt Shui said that you are now a 9-star martial master?" Lin Yi nodded. Qin Feiyang said, "Then I will help you open the door of potential now, but the process is very painful. You have to be mentally prepared." Door of potential. Lin Yi's tender body trembled. She nodded firmly and said, "Brother Feiyang, just do it. No matter how painful it is, I can bear it." Beside him, Luo Qianxue took out a jade box. Inside the jade box was the potential pill that Qin Feiyang had given her. The potential pill was the 9 Tunes Yellow Dragon pill. Luo Qianxue took out a potential pill, walked to Lin Yi, and said seriously, "Yi, once you take the potential pill, there is no turning back. You have to think about it." Lin Yi glanced at Qin Feiyang. Without any hesitation, she grabbed the potential pill from Luo Qianxue's hand and put it into her mouth. Alas! Luo Qianxue sighed and retreated to Qin Feiyang's side. In less than 3 breaths, the effects of the potential pill began to take effect. Lin Yi screamed in pain immediately. However, she only let out a scream before she sat down cross-legged on the ground. Although her facial features were twisted in pain and her body was twitching, she did not let out another scream. She gritted her teeth and endured. Boom! Meanwhile, Qin Feiyang's coercion pounced and shrouded Lin Yi. Luo Qianxue whispered, "Feiyang, do you know why she is so strong? She just wants to catch up with your footsteps and stay by your side." Qin Feiyang was silent. Luo Qianxue sighed, "In fact, Yi is a good girl. You can consider her." Qin Feiyang whispered, Auntie Shui, you should know that I have always regarded her as a sister. Alas! Luo Qianxue sighed deeply and said nothing more. Lu Hong next to her also opened her eyes and looked at Lin Yi with a complicated expression. Although they were both women, and they both liked the same man, she really sympathized with Lin Yi. She was originally a lively girl, but she became depressed because of a greedy father. It could be said that the current Lin Yi was harmed by her father. A moment passed. Boom! Lin Yi's delicate body shook, and a deafening muffled sound exploded in her body. On her chest, a potential imprint quickly emerged, exuding thousands of rays of light. Qin Feiyang hurriedly restrained his coercion, took out a heal pill, and gave it to Lin Yi. After Lin Yi took the heal pill, she said, Brother Feiyang, I can still continue. No. Qin Feiyang refused as expected. What a joke, even he may not be able to open the gate of potential continuously. This girl was simply crazy. Lu Hong smiled and said, opening the gate of potential has to be done step by step. When the injury is healed, open the second level. Don't force yourself too much, and don't make us worry. Lin Yi nodded. Buzz. At this moment, the image crystal in Qin Feiyang's arms finally made a sound. He hurriedly took it out, but the phantoms that emerged were not Fatso and Wolf King, but Yan Nanshan. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, Uncle Yan, what's the matter? Yan Nanshan nodded, but he didn't say anything directly. He looked at Luo Qianxue next to Qin Feiyang and smiled, Long time no see. Long time no see. Luo Qianxue also smiled. Seeing you and Feiyang together, I am relieved. Yan Nanshan said with a smile, then looked at Qin Feiyang and frowned, You asked me to help Fan Jian open the gate of potential. Are you going to train him? Qin Feiyang nodded. Yan Nanshan said, If you really want to train him, then you should give him the potential pill. Qin Feiyang frowned. Seeing this, Yan Nanshan said suspiciously, You still don't trust him? Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, Not really, but you can't judge a book by its cover. I have to be on guard, right? Yan Nanshan said, Then I can only tell you, don't doubt the person you use. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and nodded, I understand. Ask him to come to me, and I will give him the potential pill. Okay. Yan Nanshan answered and turned off the image crystal. Luo Qianxue said suspiciously, Feiyang, has Yan Nanshan also opened all the gates of potential? No, he hasn't even opened the first level. Qin Feiyang shook his head and sighed, When I gave him the Juku Yellow Dragon pill, I didn't think of this. Now I feel quite guilty. Luo Qianxue nodded in realization. Qin Feiyang asked, Aunt Shui, what is your cultivation now? I am ashamed to say that after a few years, I only broke through to 5-star Martial Grandmaster. Luo Qianxue smiled bitterly. That's fast. Qin Feiyang said with a smile. After thinking for a moment, he said, Then, have you ever taken a scarlet-colored glass pill? No. Luo Qianxue shook her head. That's good. Qin Feiyang breathed a sigh of relief and immediately opened the furnace to refine the pill. After a while, a red fire glass pill with 3 veins came out. Aunt Shui, this red fire glass pill is enough for you to break through 4 small realms in a row, and you will be a 9-star Martial Grandmaster. Then, I will help you open the gate of potential. Qin Feiyang handed over the red fire glass pill. Luo Qianxue's eyes lit up and she took it without hesitation. Because there was no need to be polite. Qin Feiyang looked at Yi again. Seeing Yi's eager face, he couldn't help but smile and say, Don't worry, I will refine it for you after I raise the Netherworld Devil Flame to the 5th grade. He was actually a little annoyed. When he was in the Pill Pagoda in the Forgotten Land, he only refined the Juku Yellow Dragon pill, the Potential pill, and the Potential pill, but he didn't refine the red fire glass pill. If he had refined it at that time, it would have 5 veins and could increase by 6 small realms. But it was useless to regret now. Boom! Luo Qianxue's cultivation kept breaking through, and in less than 15 breaths, she stepped into the 9-star martial grandmaster. Then, Qin Feiyang helped her open the first level of the Gate of Potential. Luo Qianxue's willpower was also very strong. Maybe it was because of the death of Luo Qingzhu and Jiang Zhengyi. Swish! Next, Qin Feiyang left the castle again. Soon, Fan Jian appeared again, and Qin Feiyang took out 2 potential pills and gave them to him. Fan Jian could be said to be deeply grateful and almost knelt on the ground. After sending Fan Jian away, Qin Feiyang returned to the castle and helped Lin Yi open the 2nd level intermittently, and helped Luo Qianxue open the 3rd level. Time flew by, and a day passed just like that. Everyone was cultivating, and Qin Feiyang was also copying the battle character's secret art while waiting for Fatso and Wolf King's messages. Another 2 days passed. Fan Jian had already stepped into the 1-star martial grandmaster, and he told Qin Feiyang at the first moment. Buzz! It was also on this day that the image crystal made a sound. Qin Feiyang hurriedly took it out, but found that it was not his image crystal. It's Wei Zhongyang's. Lu Hong took out an image crystal from her arms and threw it to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang caught it in his hand and frowned. Lu Hong said, "It should be the Dong family's people who will send a message to Wei Zhongyang at this time." Qin Feiyang sneered, "It seems that the Dong family can't sit still." Lu Hong said, "Do you want to respond to them?" "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded. The identity of the mysterious martial grandmaster had not been found out yet, so he had to temporarily drag out the Dong family's people. His eyes flickered slightly, and he picked up the unconscious Wei Zhongyang and appeared in the dense forest. In the past 3 days, Wei Zhongyang woke up several times, but every time he woke up, he was knocked out by the pangolin again. Swish! Qin Feiyang galloped in the dense forest for a while, found a river, and then threw Wei Zhongyang directly into it. "Ah, there are aquatic beasts in there, help!" Wei Zhongyang immediately quivered and woke up. Soon after, he let out a terrified scream and swam towards the shore while calling for help from Qin Feiyang. Roar! As expected. An aquatic beast rushed out of the water, opened its bloody mouth and revealed its sharp fangs, and pounced toward Wei Zhongyang. "Qin Feiyang, save me, I'll do anything you ask of me." Wei Zhongyang was so scared that he wet his pants on the spot. "You said it yourself," Qin Feiyang said indifferently, and the pressure of a 4-star combat emperor roared out. The aquatic beast was only a combat king, so it immediately stopped and fled back to the bottom of the water in fear. Wei Zhongyang swam to the shore with great effort, and collapsed on the grass, gasping for air. His face was full of fear. Qin Feiyang said, "Let me ask you, other than the Dong family, who else have you told about me?" "No." Wei Zhongyang hurriedly got up and shook his head. Qin Feiyang said, "Then my relationship with Ren Wuxuang, did you tell the Dong family?" "No. Because if I did, they would be even more afraid of you, and definitely won't cooperate with me." Wei Zhongyang said. "You're quite smart." Qin Feiyang sneered. Wei Zhongyang shrunk his neck, and his eyes were full of fear. Qin Feiyang said, "Don't worry, I won't kill you for now." Buzz! At this moment, Wei Zhongyang's image crystal rang again. So urgent? Chapter 460. Wei Zhongyang was nervous and uneasy, afraid that Qin Feiyang would do something to him. After a few breaths of time, Wei Zhongyang's image crystal stopped ringing. Bang! It was also at this moment. Qin Feiyang's arm shot out explosively, his palm was like a blade, knocking Wei Zhongyang unconscious and sending him into the castle. Originally, he wanted Wei Zhongyang to appear and stall the Dong family. But then he suddenly remembered that Wei Zhongyang's cultivation was crippled and he had no battle qi, so it was impossible for him to revive the image crystal. In other words, Wei Zhongyang's image crystal could only receive the other party's message and could not activate the conversation mode. The most important thing was that Wei Zhongyang was unreliable and could not take this risk. Following that, Qin Feiyang lowered his head, his thoughts running at high speed. He couldn't be so passive anymore. He had to take the initiative to counterattack. However, he had to think of a foolproof plan. Got it. Soon. His eyes lit up as he took out his image crystal and quickly activated it. Not long later, a shadow appeared. It was Yan Nanshan. Qin Feiyang did not exchange pleasantries, and said, "Uncle Yan, there's something I need your help with." "What is it?" Yan Nanshan was puzzled. Qin Feiyang said, "Go to the prison right now." Yan Nanshan was startled, and frowned. "Why are you going to the prison?" "I want to set up a trap and lure that mysterious war sect out." "When you go to the prison, you don't need to do anything. You just need to hide nearby and monitor the prison. If I'm not wrong, someone will definitely go to the prison to investigate the situation. And this person, even if he isn't that mysterious war sect, is related to him. But if someone really goes, you don't have to take any action." Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. "All right." Yan Nanshan nodded. Although he did not know Qin Feiyang's detailed plan, he trusted Qin Feiyang unconditionally. After ending the conversation, Qin Feiyang contacted Fan Jian again. After communicating with Fan Jian, he kept the image crystal. "Mysterious war sect, let's see how long you can hide." Qin Feiyang sneered. He swallowed an illusory form pill and changed into Fan Jian's appearance. Then, he opened a teleportation door and walked in. The Dong family. Inside the great meeting hall. Like ants on a hot pan, Patriarch Dong and the Grand Elder paced back and forth in the hall. Old Monster Dong sat on the chair above. He looked at the two of them and said angrily, "Can you two not appear in front of me? My head is about to get dizzy because of all of you." Patriarch Dong said, "Old ancestor, it's already been 3 days, and there's still no news from Wei Zhongyang. How can I not be anxious?" "That's right. He didn't even respond to my messages. What is he doing?" The Grand Elder was furious. Suddenly, his gaze trembled as he looked at eccentric Dong and asked in surprise, "Patriarch, do you think he wants to take it all for himself?" As soon as he said this, the hall fell into deathly silence. Whoosh! At this moment, a man in black armor appeared out of thin air. It was Qin Feiyang. Seeing this, eccentric Dong and the other two were startled, and immediately went up to greet him. Patriarch Dong said anxiously, "Brother Fan Jian, why didn't Brother Wei answer our message? Is he in some kind of trouble?" Qin Feiyang looked at the three of them, his eyes flashing slightly, and nodded, "I have indeed encountered some small trouble." "What kind of trouble?" The three of their faces changed. Qin Feiyang said, "Yan Nanshan has always been hiding near the prison, monitoring Lord Guard Captain." Yan Nanshan. Why would he monitor Brother Wei? Eccentric Dong and the other two were bewildered. Qin Feiyang said, "According to Lord Guard Captain's guess, he most likely received some kind of news." Patriarch Dong said, "If that's the case, won't it ruin our good deed? This is also what Guard Captain is worried about. He told me to tell you that you must think of a way to send Yan Nanshan away." Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. Patriarch Dong frowned. Yan Nanshan is the law-enforcing elder of the temple, and is also a one-star war sect. How can we send him away? This, Qin Feiyang hesitated for a moment and shook his head. Then there is no way, we can only waste time. The three of them fell silent. Qin Feiyang glanced at them and said, I have to go back and report, goodbye. Patriarch Dong hurriedly said, Brother Fan Jian, wait. Is there anything else? Qin Feiyang was puzzled. Patriarch Dong said, where are Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue imprisoned now? Qin Feiyang said, the second floor of the prison. Patriarch Dong asked, where is Qin Feiyang? Qin Feiyang said, the first floor. That's good. Patriarch Dong breathed a sigh of relief. Qin Feiyang had too many means. If they were locked in the same floor as him, they might be rescued by him. Qin Feiyang said, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. Take care, I won't send you off. Go back and tell Brother Wei that we will try our best to send Yan Nanshan away. Eccentric Dong said. Qin Feiyang nodded, opened a portal, and quickly left. Old ancestor, what can you do? Patriarch Dong and the Grand Elder looked at eccentric Dong suspiciously. Now that my cultivation is crippled, what can I do? But we can find him. Grand Elder, go to the Mansion Master's mansion immediately and tell him about this situation. He must have a way. Eccentric Dong ordered. Okay. The Grand Elder nodded and opened a teleportation gate. Without even turning his head, he rushed in. Outside the city. Qin Feiyang landed in the sky above the dense forest. Without any delay, he immediately sent a message to Yan Nanshan. Yan Nanshan had already squatted near the prison and gave the coordinates to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang immediately rushed to meet Yan Nanshan. Within a few miles around the prison, there were no buildings, but there were many big trees with luxuriant branches and leaves. At this moment, Yan Nanshan was standing on the branch of one of the big trees. Swish! Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. You're here. Yan Nanshan smiled. Qin Feiyang nodded, jumped up, and landed beside Yan Nanshan, looking at the prison. Standing here, he could clearly see the situation at the prison gate. Fan Jian disguised himself as Wei Zhongyang, standing straight in front of the gate, his eyes sharp. The other 8 guards also looked straight ahead. Yan Nanshan was puzzled. Kid, what kind of trick are you playing? Qin Feiyang smiled. You'll find out later. Oh right, Uncle Yan, do you know who the new East City governor is? Yan Nanshan said, I've heard of him, but I've never seen him. Why? Qin Feiyang frowned. Wang Hong told me that this person is helping me investigate the extermination of the Lu family. I don't know if he has found any clues. Yan Nanshan sighed. It's difficult to investigate this matter. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. It's not that difficult. I've already found traces of the masked man, but, where did you find him? Yan Nanshan was surprised. Qin Feiyang said, near the Dong family. Wolf King and Fatso have already gone to track him. But it's been 3 days, and there's still no news. I'm a little worried. Yan Nanshan smiled. With the 2 of them, what are you worried about? Just wait. He won't be able to escape. Qin Feiyang nodded. Time passed by slowly. Almost an hour had passed, but there was still no one coming to the prison. Yan Nanshan frowned. Feiyang, why hasn't anyone come yet? Qin Feiyang was also puzzled. Logically speaking, someone should have come long ago. Could it be that the Dong family was suspicious? Buzz. Suddenly. There was a buzzing sound. Qin Feiyang looked at Yan Nanshan suspiciously. Yan Nanshan took out the image crystal from his pocket, but the image crystal shone brightly. Yan Nanshan frowned and said in a low voice, hide for a while. Qin Feiyang nodded. He took a step forward and landed on a tree opposite him, using the dense leaves to hide his figure. Yan Nanshan's battle chi surged and fused into the image crystal. An illusory figure appeared quickly. It was a burly man dressed in black. Qin Feiyang did not have any impression of him. However, he could tell from his attire that he was a deacon elder of the sacred hall. Elder Yan, where are you now? The burly man's face was filled with anxiety. What? Yan Nanshan frowned. The burly man said anxiously, the disciples of the cultivation hall are fighting. Hurry back and take a look. Yan Nanshan's expression changed as he asked, weren't they fine when I left? Why are they fighting all of a sudden? The burly man shook his head. I don't know either. You had better come back quickly. Otherwise, someone might die. All right, I'll go back right away. Yan Nanshan turned off the image crystal and looked at Qin Feiyang. You heard it too. I have to make a trip back. You stay here and guard. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Yan Nanshan immediately opened a teleportation gate and disappeared quickly. Qin Feiyang turned around and continued to monitor the prison. But suddenly, his gaze trembled. That's not right. How could the disciples of the sacred hall suddenly fight? And it just so happened to be at this time. Could it be the Dong family was behind this? That's not right either. The Dong family had already declined, so they wouldn't be able to cause such a huge commotion. That's right. It must be him. That mysterious war sect. You can't even force him out like this. You're really hiding your strength. Qin Feiyang muttered, his gaze gloomy. To be able to send Yan Nanshan away so easily, it seemed that he had met a very difficult opponent this time. He raised his head and looked at the prison. He jumped down from the branch and landed on the ground. There was no need to continue monitoring. Buzz. At this moment, his image crystal made a sound. Qin Feiyang took it out and poured his battle qi into it. Two shadows quickly appeared. It was Fatso and Wolf King. Qin Feiyang said angrily, what are you doing? Why are you only replying to me now? Fatso sighed, boss, we're in big trouble this time. Wolf King was also dejected, his eyes filled with helplessness. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang frowned. Fatso said, give us your coordinates first, we'll talk about it when we get there. I'm at the prison. Qin Feiyang looked at the man and wolf suspiciously and gave the coordinates to Fatso. In less than 3 breaths, a man and a wolf appeared in front of him. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, speak, what's going on? Fatso said, at first, we were following them very smoothly, but we soon discovered that their scent was covered up. Cover up? Qin Feiyang was startled. That's right, it's a cover-up. After 3 days of tracking, Fat Lord felt that the masked man and Lu Tingting were purely playing with us, leading us around the city. Fatso said. Qin Feiyang said, so, not only did they notice that you were following them, they even tricked you? Fatso nodded, a little angry. Chapter 461. Tracking was Wolf King's forte, and it had never failed before. But this time, not only did it fail, but it was also played like a monkey. This had seriously hurt its self-esteem. If it wasn't for the fact that it couldn't expose its whereabouts, it would have brazenly chased after Lu Tingting and her brother all over the city. After all, in the eyes of the world, Qin Feiyang was now locked in prison. If the whereabouts of Wolf King and Fatso were exposed, then the fact that Qin Feiyang had escaped from prison would also be exposed to the world. This was not a good thing for Qin Feiyang. After pondering for a moment, Qin Feiyang frowned. How did they cover up their scent? Pollen, and more than one kind of pollen, they obviously came prepared, and it's very likely that they are coming for us. Wolf King's eyes flashed with a fierce light. Qin Feiyang shook his head, they are not coming for us. How do you know? Wolf King was suspicious. It's very simple. The fact that we were sent to prison has long been known to everyone. They must know as well. If they are really coming for us, they won't let go of this good opportunity, and will definitely expose your and Fatso's whereabouts. In this way, Wang Hong will go and capture you. But they didn't do that, which means they have other purposes. Qin Feiyang said. Makes sense. Fatso nodded and asked, did he and the others get out? They are now in the castle, but they also encountered a troublesome matter. Qin Feiyang said. At that moment, he briefly explained the situation to Fatso and Wolf King. Damn, it's actually related to the mansion master? Fatso was dumbfounded. Wolf King sighed, this time, we really met a difficult opponent. Difficult? Qin Feiyang sneered, no matter how difficult it was, he had to find this person. Fatso said, boss, what should we do next? He was at a loss for what to do. Since Lu Tingting and Li Tianlan appeared outside the Dong clan's gate, their target is most likely the Dong clan. Don't chase after them anymore. Just wait near the Dong family's residence. Be smart, don't be fooled again. Qin Feiyang said. Fatso and Wolf King nodded. What about you? Fatso asked. I'm going to the Holy Temple. Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up. Fatso understood. He opened a portal and left with Wolf King. Qin Feiyang took off his armor, took out the temple's disciple overlook, and put it on. Then, he swallowed an illusory form pill and changed his appearance into a very ordinary-looking young man. He opened the teleportation gate and walked in. The next moment, he landed in a small forest near the training hall. Glancing around, Qin Feiyang dashed out of the small forest and rushed towards the cultivation hall. On the way, Qin Feiyang met many disciples from the Holy Temple. They were all rushing towards the cultivation hall. From their discussion, he knew that they were also going to watch the show. But no one knew the reason why the disciples were fighting in the cultivation hall. Dozens of breaths later, the cultivation hall finally came into sight. At this moment, there was a sea of people in the square. Most of them were disciples from the Pill Hall. There were only a few disciples from the Martial Arts Hall. There was a lot of discussion and noise. In front of the gate, there were more than a dozen deacon elders guarding. They didn't allow anyone to enter the cultivation hall. Qin Feiyang mixed into the crowd and listened carefully. He didn't get any useful information and started to ponder. How could he sneak into the cultivation hall? Suddenly, he noticed that there was a short and familiar figure in the crowd not far away. Huang San. Qin Feiyang was stunned. He walked behind Huang San and patted Huang San's shoulder. He smiled and said, "Long time no see." N. Huang San turned and looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. He frowned and said, "Do I know you? Don't try to establish a relationship with me." Establish a relationship? Qin Feiyang was stunned. He smiled bitterly and asked, "Why are the disciples of the martial arts hall fighting? Who is the one leading them?" This guy was well informed. He should know a thing or two. Huang San frowned and said impatiently, "Who are you? Why should I tell you?" Qin Feiyang moved closer to his ear and whispered. "What?" Huang San was startled at once. He seriously sized up Qin Feiyang and said with a flattering smile, "Qin, Shu." Qin Feiyang hurriedly gestured for him to keep quiet. Huang San understood. He looked around sneakily. Seeing that no one was paying attention, he whispered, "Senior brother Qin, weren't you in the prison? How did you get out?" Qin Feiyang said, "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Answer my question." Okay. Huang San nodded and whispered, "As far as I know, the people leading the trouble are He Xiaolong and Xiao Jian." "Who is He Xiaolong?" Qin Feiyang was puzzled. He Xiaolong is an old disciple of the martial arts hall. You fought with him before? Huang San said. Fought with him? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Huang San said, on the day you killed Dong Cheng and Lu Ziyuan, you challenged all the geniuses. He was also there, but he was suppressed by you. Qin Feiyang suddenly understood. But he had no impression of this person and had never heard of him. Then why did he fight with Xiao Jian? Qin Feiyang said. This young Xiaolong has always been secretly in love with Dongfang Yu, but Xiao Jian beat him to it. As for Xiang Xiaolong himself, he has no background and no backing, so he doesn't dare to fight with Xiao Jian. But he has always been very unconvinced. Just yesterday, he broke through to the 9-star battle monarch first. So, he went to Xiao Jian and said that Xiao Jian is not worthy of Dongfang Yu, and asked Xiao Jian to leave Dongfang Yu. Xiao Jian definitely won't agree. They fought without a word. Xiao Jian is an 8-star battle monarch. He can't beat him alone, but his status is there, and he has a good relationship with all the geniuses. So, they formed a group and fought with Yi Xiaolong. If Elder Yen didn't come back in time to stop them, I'm afraid someone would have died. Huang San said. Qin Feiyang suddenly understood. It turned out that they were jealous. He asked, is the news true? Absolutely true. I'm very familiar with a disciple of the martial arts hall. When I learned of this, I immediately sent him a message. He told me personally. Huang San whispered. He Xiaolong, Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. He didn't expect that there was such a crazy person in the sacred hall. But was it really just because of jealousy? This was too much of a coincidence. Huang San whispered, Senior brother Qin, were you the one who exterminated the Lu family? No. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Huang San asked suspiciously, then what about the rumors outside? Qin Feiyang said lightly, someone is deliberately framing me. Preposterous. How dare they frame senior brother Qin? When I find out who this person is, I will not let him go. Huang San said with righteous indignation. Qin Feiyang was stunned. He looked at Huang San strangely, then couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. Buzz. Suddenly, the image crystal in Qin Feiyang's arms rang again. There's news about Fatso and White-Eyed Wolf? Qin Feiyang was suspicious and smiled at Huang San. I still have something to do, I'll leave first. So fast? Huang San was stunned. Now you're the only one who knows that I'm not in prison. Don't talk nonsense, otherwise you'll have to bear the consequences. Qin Feiyang whispered. Understood. Huang San nodded. Qin Feiyang smiled and directly left the crowd, walking towards the small forest next to them. A moment later, he took out the image crystal and sent a message to Fatso. But the result was that Fatso and Wolf King didn't send him a message at all. Then who could it be? Fan Jian? Soon, his image crystal rang again. When he activated the image crystal, the image that appeared turned out to be Lu Hong. Swish! Qin Feiyang flashed and entered the castle. He looked at Lu Hong and asked, what's wrong? Lu Hong pointed at Wei Zhongyang and said, he has something to say to you. Qin Feiyang was slightly stunned. He turned his head and saw that Wei Zhongyang had already woken up and was sitting in a corner. What do you want to say? Qin Feiyang frowned. Wei Zhongyang asked, if I tell you, will you let me live? Do you think you still have the right to negotiate? You don't have to say it, but you'll die now. Qin Feiyang sneered. Wei Zhongyang's face changed, and his eyes were filled with fear. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and shouted, hurry up, don't waste my time. Wei Zhongyang's body trembled as he said, it's the Dong family. Qin Feiyang frowned, what do you mean? Wei Zhongyang said, the news of you slaughtering the Lu family outside the city was deliberately released by the Dong family. The Dong family. Lu Hong's eyes flashed with killing intent. Qin Feiyang couldn't help but clench his fists as he said in a deep voice, "Speak clearly." When the Lu family was wiped out, the grand elder of the Dong family was hiding in the forest outside the plain. Wei Zhongyang said. "I see." Qin Feiyang muttered. If the grand elder of the Dong family was hiding there, then he should know that ruffian Wolf and I didn't kill the Lu family members. That's right. He knows, and so do I, but no one else knows. Most importantly, you and the Lu family have a deep grudge against each other. Whether you did it or not, as long as there are rumors, they will assume that you did it. Wei Zhongyang said. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with a cold light as he said, "Why was the grand elder of the Dong family there? Is it a coincidence?" "It's not a coincidence. The Dong family guessed that you would eliminate the root of the problem. Therefore, after the Lu family members left the city, the grand elder of the Dong family followed them. The patriarch of the Dong family told me this in person. It can't be false. Can you spare my life now?" Wei Zhongyang looked at Qin Feiyang with a pleading gaze. "The Dong family. You're courting death." Qin Feiyang said in a low voice, his eyes flashing with bone-piercing killing intent. He looked at Wei Zhongyang and said, "Why didn't you tell me something so important earlier?" Wei Zhongyang said, "I didn't think of it until I overheard your conversation with the people outside." "Good. Now, tell me everything that happened in detail." "Lu Hong, record it all," Qin Feiyang said. Lu Hong nodded. Whoosh. Qin Feiyang left the ancient castle and went to the square outside the cultivation hall again. He stood behind the crowd, his eyes glittering. With Wei Zhongyang's words, he could completely clear himself of suspicion. But now was not the time. He had to meet this Xiang Xiaolong. He didn't believe that there could be such a coincidence in the world. Chapter 462. After waiting for half an hour, Yan Nanshan walked out of the cultivation hall with a gloomy expression. "Elder Yan, how's the situation?" The deacon elders surrounded him. "It's fine now. But just in case, you have to continue watching. If anyone dares to cause trouble again, they will be kicked out of the sacred palace and never be recruited again." Yan Nanshan shouted. "Yes." The deacon elders bowed and replied. Yan Nanshan looked at the crowd in the plaza and shouted, "Disperse, there's nothing to see here." The disciples dispersed in an uproar. But some people didn't leave. They gathered in twos and threes and discussed softly. Yan Nanshan didn't care about them. He turned into a stream of light and soared into the sky, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Most of the deacon elders also left. Only two of them were left guarding the two sides of the door. "Let's go in and see what's going on." Seeing this, the disciples who were pacing back and forth in the square all rushed towards the cultivation hall. "Stop right there. The martial arts hall disciples can go in, but the pill hall disciples must go back immediately." The two deacon elders stood in front of the door and shouted. Those who were wearing white clothes all stopped. Their eyes were filled with dissatisfaction. On what basis? No matter if it was the pill hall disciples or the martial arts hall disciples, they were all disciples of the sacred palace. Was there a need to differentiate them so clearly? But no matter how dissatisfied they were, no one dared to force their way in. Qin Feiyang originally wanted to mix in with the crowd. But now, it seemed that he had to think of another way. At this moment, Huang San, who was in the crowd, suddenly noticed Qin Feiyang. He ran up to him and smiled, "Senior brother, didn't you leave?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, "I also wanted to go in and join in the fun. Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance." "You want to go in?" That's easy. Follow me. Huang San ran towards the small forest at the side. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He quickly followed. After entering the small forest, Huang San took out 2 sets of black clothes from his Qianquan bag. He passed one set to Qin Feiyang and laughed, "Senior brother Qin, for you." Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up and he gave Huang San a thumbs up. Then, he took the clothes and quickly put them on. Huang San also changed his clothes. Next, the two of them slightly changed their appearances and walked out of the small forest, entering the cultivation hall without any obstructions. The cultivation hall was different from the pill fire hall. Because there were too many disciples in the martial arts hall, the area of the cultivation hall and the number of cultivation rooms far exceeded that of the pill fire hall. In a long corridor, Huang San said in a low voice, "Qin Feiyang, you didn't sneak into the cultivation hall just to join in the fun, right?" Qin Feiyang said with great interest, "Then why don't you tell me what I'm here for?" "I don't know." Huang San shook his head. If it were someone else, he would still dare to make a guess. But Qin Feiyang was too unfathomable. It was hard to guess what he was thinking. Qin Feiyang did not beat around the bush and said, "I want to see Xiang Xiaolong." "Why do you want to see him?" Huang San was bewildered. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and did not explain further. Huang San was also tactful and did not ask further. He said, "Xiang Xiaolong is in the number 1 cultivation room. I'll take you there." There was also a courtyard in the center of the cultivation hall. A moment later, the two of them came to the bottom of the courtyard. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked over. To his surprise, he discovered that the cultivation hall actually had a total of 20 floors. Furthermore, Qin Feiyang felt like an ant standing inside an elephant when he stood at the bottom of the patio. A feeling of insignificance and inferiority arose in his heart. Huang San said in a low voice, "According to statistics, there are 100,000 cultivation rooms here." "So many?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. In other words, there were 5,000 cultivation rooms on each floor? There are only 1,000 cultivation rooms on the top floor. As Huang San explained, he led Qin Feiyang along the corridor and went up. On the way, they met many disciples. From their discussion, they learned that it was indeed as Huang San said, Xiang Xiaolong and Xiao Jian were jealous of each other and caused this bloody fight. Qin Feiyang could not figure it out. He had seen this Dongfang Yu several times. She was indeed somewhat beautiful and talented, but she was still far from being a femme fatale. Was there a need to fight so fiercely? As if seeing Qin Feiyang's doubts, Huang San said in a low voice, "Dongfang Yu's family is very powerful." Qin Feiyang was stunned. The Dongfang family is located in the South City. In terms of overall strength and background, they are comparable to the Liu family in the East City and the Shen family in the West City. Huang San said. So powerful? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Huang San said, "Of course. After all, the old master of the Dongfang family is the city lord of the South City." "I see." Qin Feiyang finally understood. It turned out that Xiao Jian and Xiang Xiaolong were pursuing Dongfang Yu because of her background. Dozens of breaths later, the two came to the 20th floor and went straight to the number 1 cultivation room. 3 young men in black walked towards them. The 3 of them had different degrees of aura, and their faces were a little red and swollen. When they saw Qin Feiyang and Huang San, one of them stopped them and frowned. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. Huang San said with a flattering smile, "Senior brother, we are here to look for senior brother Xiang Xiaolong. Please make an exception." "Looking for Xiang Xiaolong?" The 3 of them looked at each other, and their eyes suddenly became unfriendly. Don't you know that Xiang Xiaolong has a grudge against us? How dare you come to look for him? Let me tell you, if you want to continue in the Divine Palace, don't interact with him in the future. The 20th floor is not a place for you to come. Get out. The three of them shouted arrogantly. This, Huang San looked at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang looked at the three of them, his eyes flickering. He, who was good at reading people's expressions, could tell at a glance that the three of them belonged to Xiao Jian's side. Moreover, right now, Xiao Jian's side was already suppressing Xiang Xiaolong. What are you still looking at? I told you to scram, didn't you hear me? Believe it or not, I'll throw you down. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was indifferent, the three of them were furious. Seeing that the situation was not good, Huang San leaned over to Qin Feiyang's ear and whispered, "Senior brother Qin, let's retreat first, in case your identity is exposed." Retreat? The corner of Qin Feiyang's mouth lifted, and a sneer appeared on his face. Seeing this, the three of them were furious. You still dare to sneer? I think you don't want to live. The man standing on the left raised his arm and slapped towards Qin Feiyang. Interesting. Huang San muttered and simply retreated to the side, crossing his arms in front of his chest and watching the show. Originally, he thought that Qin Feiyang would choose to endure for the time being. But now it seemed that this was not the case. Even if he had not gotten rid of the prison, this fierce man was not a fish that could be trampled on. Sure enough. Qin Feiyang's eyes turned cold, and his big hand shot out like an eagle's claw, grabbing the man's wrist. There was a trace of surprise in the eyes of the three of them. Trash like you dare to block my way? Qin Feiyang smiled coldly, and his 5 fingers tightened. The man's wrist was crushed on the spot, and flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Ah, that man screamed miserably, heartbreaking. Damn it! The other two were furious. Their battle chi surged, and at the same time, they rushed towards Qin Feiyang. You're really courting death. Huang San, who was standing at the side, shook his head. Once Qin Feiyang was enraged, he would even dare to challenge the heavens. Were these three punks not looking for a beating? Slap! Qin Feiyang took a step forward, and his big hand swung out like lightning, giving each of them a slap. A bright red palm print appeared on the faces of the three of them. The three of them were stunned. When did such a fierce man come to the holy sanctum? This is just a lesson. If you provoke me again, I'll kill you. Qin Feiyang looked coldly at the three of them, and continued to walk towards the number 1 cultivation room. You dare to order him around, you're courting death, understand? Huang San smiled at the three of them, and hurriedly chased after Qin Feiyang. The three of them were livid. They turned to look at Qin Feiyang's back, and their eyes flashed with shocking hostility. The screams also alarmed the others. Stone doors opened one after another, and disciples walked out, looking at the three of them in surprise. What's going on? Why are there palm prints on their faces? Who has the guts to hit the three of them? Could it be them? Everyone followed the three's gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang and Huang San, their eyes full of shock. In front of the number 1 cultivation room, Huang San ran up and knocked on the door. Soon, the stone door opened. A dignified-looking young man in black entered Qin Feiyang's sight. Qin Feiyang sized him up. This person looked to be about 25 or 26 years old, and was 185 meters tall. He had a strong body, but his face was pale, and his eyes were weak and lifeless. Moreover, his body was full of wounds and was still bleeding. The young man in black was also looking at Qin Feiyang with a puzzled expression. Qin Feiyang asked, "Xiang Xiaolong?" The young man in black nodded and frowned. "You are?" Qin Feiyang said, "Let's talk inside." Xiang Xiaolong looked at him suspiciously, and then looked past Qin Feiyang. When he saw the palm prints on the faces of the three people behind, he was surprised and stepped aside. Qin Feiyang strode in. Huang San followed closely behind. Xiang Xiaolong closed the stone door as well, and turned to Qin Feiyang and asked, "The palm prints on the faces of the three of them, were they caused by the two of you?" Huang San pointed at Qin Feiyang and smiled proudly. "It's his masterpiece." Xiang Xiaolong's eyes flashed, and he clasped his hands. "You have guts, sir. I admire you." Qin Feiyang sized up the cultivation room. The cultivation room was unimaginably small, only about 100 feet in size, and the layout was also simple. Other than an old praying mat, a wooden tea table, and 2 wooden chairs, there was nothing else. From this, it could be seen that no matter how talented a martial artist was, he could not compare to the treatment in the cultivation room. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was silent, Xiang Xiaolong frowned. "How should I address you?" Qin Feiyang turned to look at Xiang Xiaolong, and smiled. "Who I am is not important. What's important is that I can give you something that even the divine temple can't." Xiang Xiaolong was slightly surprised. "What do you mean? Are you going to help me deal with Xiao Jian and the rest?" Huang San said disdainfully, "In front of this senior brother, they are just small fries. You can kill them whenever you want." Xiang Xiaolong was even more surprised. Chapter 463. Qin Feiyang stared at Xiang Xiaolong and said, "A straightforward person does not resort to insinuations, so I will not beat around the bush with you. Tell me, who instigated you to take the lead to cause trouble this time?" Xiang Xiaolong's pupils contracted. Huang San's face was also full of surprise. "Instigated? What's going on? What did you say? Why don't I understand?" Xiang Xiaolong looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. "Playing dumb? Then I'll be frank. If I'm not wrong, you took the lead to cause trouble this time to send Yan Nanshan away," Qin Feiyang said. Xiang Xiaolong's dragon god expression froze, his eyes filled with disbelief. But these subtle changes were quickly covered up by him. He said, "I really don't know what you're talking about. If there's nothing else, you can leave now." But Qin Feiyang already had an answer in his heart. What he said before was purely to trick Xiang Xiaolong. Because if he slowly coaxed, he would not get anything out of him. After all, Xiang Xiaolong was not stupid. On the contrary, it would let Xiang Xiaolong gradually realize his purpose and think of a countermeasure. So he could only take Xiang Xiaolong by surprise and directly expose him, catching him off guard. Judging from the change in his expression. And the change in Xiang Xiaolong's expression just now was enough to explain everything. Because if there was no such thing, Xiang Xiaolong's first reaction would not be to shrink his pupils, let alone be stunned. It should be confusion, doubt, or even anger. But there was none of these. There must be something fishy about it. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed and said lightly, "I don't know what benefits the other party gave you, but as long as you cooperate with me, I can give you everything you want." Xiang Xiaolong frowned and said angrily, "What are you talking about?" Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, "Stop acting, your acting is really not that good." Xiang Xiaolong said gloomily, "Are you looking for trouble?" "Yes, and no. If you cooperate, I won't hurt you. But if you're stubborn, today may be the day you die," Qin Feiyang said with a smile. A cold light flashed in Xiang Xiaolong's eyes as he sneered, "Are you threatening me? Believe it or not, I'll throw you out right now." Qin Feiyang said, "If you have the ability, you can give it a try." Arrogant. Xiang Xiaolong was infuriated. He raised his arm and battle chi surged in his palm as he slammed it towards Qin Feiyang. Pa! Qin Feiyang gently waved his hand and slapped Xiang Xiaolong's arm away. Xiang Xiaolong took a few steps back and looked at Qin Feiyang in shock. His entire arm was trembling, and a tearing pain was coming from it. If he had used a little more force, it would have shattered into pieces. A seemingly light wave of his hand actually contained such a terrifying power? This person was definitely not a disciple of the Divine Temple. Who was he? Qin Feiyang lowered his arm and said indifferently, "I'll ask you one last time. Do you want to cooperate?" Xiang Xiaolong said angrily, "I don't even understand what you're talking about. How can I cooperate with you?" "If that's the case," Qin Feiyang whispered and took a step forward. His large hand was like an eagle's claw as he grabbed Xiang Xiaolong's neck. "I'm going to end your life now." Murderous intent flashed in his eyes. His 5 fingers exerted a little force and a cracking sound came from Xiang Xiaolong's neck. Xiang Xiaolong immediately panicked. Because this was the sound of a throat breaking. Seeing this, Huang San hurriedly said, "You're really going to kill him?" Qin Feiyang sneered, "Those who dare to go against me, don't even think about living. Who exactly are you?" Xiang Xiaolong roared in shock and anger. Huang San said, "Xiang Xiaolong, he's a man of his words. You'd better cooperate with him quickly or you'll really lose your life." Qin Feiyang's 5 fingers exerted more force. Crack! Xiang Xiaolong could clearly feel that his throat was on the verge of breaking. He found it difficult to breathe and hurriedly said, I'll tell you everything. Wouldn't it have been better if you did this from the start?" Qin Feiyang smiled and released his 5 fingers. Xiang Xiaolong immediately fell to the ground, gasping for air. Huff! After regaining his strength, he took a deep breath and stood up to look at Qin Feiyang, saying, "You're right. Today's incident was caused by me on purpose." Qin Feiyang waved his hand, saying, "Let's not talk about this nonsense. I just want to know who ordered you to do this." Xiang Xiaolong said, "I only know that it's a woman. As for her appearance and identity, I don't know anything because she was wearing a mask." "A woman?" Qin Feiyang was stunned. If he remembered correctly, Yan Nanshan had said that the voice that appeared in Yen City was an old man. This meant that it should be an old man. It seemed that the woman who ordered Xiang Xiaolong was just a pawn in the hands of that mysterious battle master. This person was really cunning beyond imagination. Qin Feiyang asked, "Did you establish a contract with her?" "No." Xiang Xiaolong shook his head. Qin Feiyang said, "Then what benefits did she give you?" "She promised that after everything was done, she would give me 2 types of superior martial skills and 2 potential pills. I couldn't refuse such tempting conditions. Because I don't have a family background, the potential pills are simply wishful thinking for me." Xiang Xiaolong said in pain. Qin Feiyang asked, "Then what's her cultivation level?" Xiang Xiaolong said, "Unfathomable. I want to hear the truth." Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed coldly. Xiang Xiaolong hurriedly said, "Everything I said is the truth. Please believe me." Qin Feiyang looked at him deeply, lowered his head and muttered. Suddenly, his eyes flashed and he struck out like lightning, knocking Xiang Xiaolong and Huang San unconscious. Next, he took a facial restoration pill and recovered his true appearance. He took out an image crystal and sent a message to Ren Wuxuang. Soon, Ren Wuxuang's shadow appeared. Upon seeing that it was Qin Feiyang, she was shocked. "How can you send me a message? Aren't you in prison?" Qin Feiyang nodded and smiled. "Sister, let me ask you something. How many old men are there among the 10 commanders?" Ren Wuxuang said, 4. "So many?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "If there were only 1 or 2, it would be easy to investigate. But 4 was a bit troublesome." Ren Wuxuang asked doubtfully, "What's wrong?" "Nothing, I'm just asking." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and turned off the image crystal. He did not want Ren Wuxuang to know about this matter, in case she was worried. Then he sent a message to Yan Nanshan and briefly explained the situation. Soon, Yan Nanshan came to cultivation room number 1 and asked, "Feiyang, is what you said true?" Qin Feiyang nodded. "How preposterous. He actually dares to instigate my disciples to cause trouble. We must find him." Yan Nanshan was furious. "It's not easy. Right now, we can only wait. Xiang Xiaolong said that after this matter is done, that woman will give him a top-grade battle art and potential pill. I reckon that she will take the initiative to look for Xiang Xiaolong soon," Qin Feiyang said. But he was also a little uncertain. Because Xiang Xiaolong was just a chess piece, and now had no value. The most important thing was that Xiang Xiaolong didn't even know what she looked like. This person could completely go back on his word and not give him the battle art and potential pill. Yan Nanshan's eyes suddenly lit up, and said, "Feiyang, it's actually very easy. I think that woman will find an opportunity to kill Xiang Xiaolong to silence him. As long as we catch that woman, there will definitely be clues." Silence? Qin Feiyang's heart skipped a beat, but he immediately shook his head and said, "No, Xiang Xiaolong has never seen that woman's true appearance, nor does he know her identity. There is no need to silence him." "Then what should we do?" Yan Nanshan frowned. "This mysterious war sect is very difficult to deal with." Qin Feiyang sighed deeply. To be honest, he didn't know what to do either. Yan Nanshan said, "I might as well go back to the prison and squat there." Qin Feiyang shook his head. This person is very shrewd, he definitely won't use the same method a second time. He felt as if he had walked into a dead end. Calm down. He must not be impatient. There must be another way. Qin Feiyang took a few deep breaths. He lowered his head and carefully analyzed the ins and outs of this matter. Yan Nanshan was also deep in thought. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he said excitedly, "Feiyang, isn't the Dong family the best way to break through?" The Dong family knew the identity of the mysterious war sect, so they could definitely start from them. No way. Qin Feiyang immediately rejected it, and said, "The Dong family does not dare to take the risk now, because once the identity of the mysterious war sect is revealed, the mysterious war sect will definitely not let the Dong family off." Yan Nanshan said, "I don't believe that they won't say anything when they're about to die. You don't have to say it. Even if we kill them, they won't reveal a single word. Moreover, I don't dare to take the risk. Because if we fail, that mysterious war sect will sense something. At that time, he will definitely hide even deeper, and it will be even more impossible to find him again." Qin Feiyang said. "That's true." Yan Nanshan nodded. Qin Feiyang muttered to himself for a while, then his eyes suddenly lit up, and said, "Uncle Yan, we can actually start from the Dong family, but we have to use the right method. Let's go find the palace chief." Yan Nanshan was slightly startled, and asked suspiciously, "How can the palace chief help us? Just now, I was thinking that I seem to have fallen into a dead end. Actually, it's because I'm too stubborn. I want to solve everything myself. But there are some things that require the help of external forces. And this time, the old man is the key. But before we find the old man, we have to go to the Dong family first. I don't believe that we can't find a way to find him this time." Qin Feiyang smiled coldly and opened a portal. Yan Nanshan said in surprise, "You're going just like that?" Qin Feiyang said, "There's no need to hide anymore." The two walked into the portal one after the other, and directly descended above the Dong family. Qin Feiyang looked down and yelled without hiding, "Eccentric Dong, Patriarch Dong, Grand Elder, get out here now." Qin Feiyang. Isn't he in prison? Why did he suddenly come to our Dong family? All the members of the Dong family fell into a state of panic. On a street outside the Dong family, a brawny man stood in the crowd, looking up at Qin Feiyang with eyes full of shock. "What's wrong with boss?" the brawny man murmured to himself. At the same time, a small head poked out of the brawny man's arms and said excitedly, "Little Qin Zi should have found some clues. Let's go and meet him." Fatso shook his head and said, "No, the masked man and Lu Tingting haven't shown up yet. We can't show up either. Then how long do we have to wait?" Wolf King was a little annoyed. Fatso sneered, "What's the hurry? They will definitely show their tails." "That's right." The brawny man was Fatso in disguise. Chapter 464. At the same time. On the other side of the street, there was also a man and a woman. They were both very young, with average looks and temperament. Standing in the crowd, no one would take a second look at them. But at this moment, they were looking at Qin Feiyang, who was above the Dong family, their eyes shining brightly. "Qin Feiyang, what do you want to do?" Suddenly, an angry shout resounded through the clouds. Following closely, a ray of light shot up into the sky and landed in front of Qin Feiyang and Yan Nanshan. It was the great clan elder of the Dong family. Qin Feiyang said, "Bring your ancestor and patriarch, and follow me to see the palace chief." "See the palace chief?" The great clan elder was shocked. The Dong family head and ancestor Dong below couldn't help but feel nervous. Not only did Qin Feiyang come out of prison, he was also so confident. Could it be that he had some evidence against the Dong family? The Dong family head asked in surprise, "Ancestor, why didn't Wei Zhongyang send us a message for such an important matter?" "How would I know?" Old Monster Dong said angrily. Qin Feiyang looked at the great clan elder, then lowered his head to look at the two Dong family heads, and said, "Hurry up, don't waste time. I'll go prepare." The great clan elder's eyes flashed as he spoke to Qin Feiyang and flew down. "Prepare?" "I think he wants to send a message to that mysterious war sect." Qin Feiyang secretly sneered, and nodded to Yan Nanshan. Yan Nanshan understood, and the pressure of the war sect emerged, directly imprisoning the great clan elder. Next, he reached out with his hand, and Old Monster Dong and the Dong family head flew up into the sky uncontrollably. Old Monster Dong shouted, "Yan Nanshan, although you are the law-enforcing elder of the temple, you still can't interfere with my Dong family's matters." Yan Nanshan said expressionlessly, "Indeed, I can't control it, but I will not let anyone who endangers my temple go." The Dong family head roared, "When did my Dong family harm your temple? You must explain it clearly to me today. If there's anything, wait until you see the palace chief." Qin Feiyang waved his hand and opened a portal. Yan Nanshan said in a low voice, "Feiyang, aren't you afraid that someone will inform that mysterious battle sect? There's nothing we can do about it. We can't possibly take everyone from the Dong clan away. But don't worry, even if that mysterious war sect received the news, they wouldn't dare to speak up for the Dong family. Because if you speak up for the Dong family, it will be tantamount to confessing without being pressed. However, we have to be careful of this mysterious war sect." Qin Feiyang muttered. "Attack in secret?" Yan Nanshan was slightly taken aback. He smiled and said, "Aren't you overthinking it? That's the manor head's residence. How could he have the guts to do that? It's best if you don't dare." Qin Feiyang said and walked into the portal first. Yan Nanshan frowned as he led Patriarch Dong and the other two into the portal. Seeing this, among the crowd on the street outside, the eyes of the man and woman suddenly flickered. The woman said, "The opportunity has come. Don't be impulsive. The Dong clan still has 9 clan elders, and the 2 beast kings are not in the city. If we sneak into the Dong clan now, once we are discovered by the Dong clan, with our strength, only death awaits us. The man shook his head and said. The woman frowned and said, then how long do we have to wait? Don't worry, it won't be long. Qin Feiyang has already launched a counterattack. I think the Dong clan will be driven out of the city soon. As long as the Dong clan leaves the city, the end will come. What I'm most worried about right now is Fatso and Ruffian Wolf. Although we have been leading them by the nose for the past 3 days, they are still Qin Feiyang's capable subordinates. Especially that Fatso, he is very smart. I wonder where he is hiding now. The man scanned the crowd around him with a trace of worry in his eyes. Manor Head's residence. In front of the door of the Great Council Hall. Swish. Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. The guards guarding the door immediately became alert. However, when they saw it was Qin Feiyang, they smiled warmly and were about to greet him. However, when Yan Nanshan and the others appeared, they stopped in their tracks. The smiles on their faces were replaced by indifference. The leader of the guards asked, "What are you doing here?" Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said with a smile, "I have something to discuss with the manor head. Please inform him." The guard said expressionlessly, "The manor head is not here now. You can go back first." "He's not here?" Qin Feiyang frowned. Yan Nanshan also frowned. The Dong clan's patriarch and the other two looked delighted. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said, "Brother, can I have a word with you? Follow me." The guard glanced at him indifferently, then turned and walked away. Qin Feiyang strode after him. The two of them came to a small tree with their backs facing the Dong clan's patriarch. The guard said in a low voice, "Brother Qin, I'm really sorry about what happened just now." "It's okay." Qin Feiyang smiled and asked, "Where is the old master now?" The guard smiled bitterly and said, "I don't dare to ask about the manor head's whereabouts. I only know that he left yesterday. Why don't you send him a message?" "Okay." Qin Feiyang nodded and immediately flashed into the castle. This matter could not be delayed. Otherwise, there might be an unforeseen event. He took out the image crystal and quickly activated it. After a while, an old figure appeared. When the manor head saw Qin Feiyang, he chuckled and said, "Little guy, why are you looking for me?" Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked, "Old master, aren't you surprised at all that I'm not in the prison?" "Surprised?" The manor head shook his head and laughed, "Don't you think I know you well? The prison can't hold you at all." After a pause, he added, "You can't stay in the prison obediently. It's all within my expectations." Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. The older the ginger, the spicier it was. Without further ado, Qin Feiyang said, "Old master, there's something I need your help with. Can you come back now? Is it important?" The manor head asked. "Very important." Qin Feiyang nodded. "Well then, wait for me in the meeting hall." After saying that, the manor head turned off the image crystal. Qin Feiyang also put away the image crystal and was about to leave the castle. But at this moment, a cry of surprise sounded. "You're so close to the manor head?" Wei Zhongyang, who witnessed all this with his own eyes, looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. Qin Feiyang joked, "Is there a problem?" "No, no, no." Wei Zhongyang shook his head. He originally thought that Qin Feiyang was only close to Ren Wuxuang. He did not expect that he was so close to the manor head. If he had known, he would not have dared to scheme against Qin Feiyang even if he was beaten to death. He was simply courting death. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed and said calmly, "Then do you know what to do next?" I know. I'll definitely tell you the truth." Wei Zhongyang nodded repeatedly. Qin Feiyang had the manor head behind him. It was impossible to defeat him. Only by cooperating with him would he have a chance to save his life. Qin Feiyang smiled and left the castle. Although Lu Hong had a record of the conversation, it could not be compared to Wei Zhongyang telling the truth personally. Seeing Qin Feiyang appear, the guard asked in a low voice, "How was it?" Qin Feiyang smiled, "Old master will be back soon." The guard couldn't help but feel surprised. After working in the manor for so many years, he knew the manor head's personality like the back of his hand. Even the 10 great commanders and the 4 city lords might not be able to invite the manor head. But now, Qin Feiyang had asked the manor head to return with just one sentence. It was obvious how important Qin Feiyang was in the manor head's heart. This boy was indeed someone who could not be offended. The two returned to the main hall. Old Monster Dong looked suspiciously at Qin Feiyang and said, "Since the manor head is not here, let's not waste time." Qin Feiyang glanced at him and sneered, "Why are you in such a hurry? Did you do something wrong and don't dare to meet the manor head?" Old Monster Dong's pupils constricted and he shouted, "Qin Feiyang, don't slander me." Qin Feiyang said, "You know very well whether I'm slandering you or not." Old Monster Dong was about to say something. Boom! But at this moment, a battle chi suddenly appeared and shot toward Qin Feiyang and the others from behind like lightning. "Who is it?" Yan Nanshan turned around abruptly, but he only saw the battle chi and no one. The guards, as well as Patriarch Dong and the other 2 patriarchs, were also bewildered. Qin Feiyang also turned around and his eyes trembled. He shouted, "Uncle Yan, protect Patriarch Dong's trio. You really dare to attack?" Yan Nanshan's expression changed. He quickly stood in front of Patriarch Dong's trio and waved his hands. Battle chi surged out. Boom! The 2 battle chis met in an instant. With a loud bang, Yan Nanshan was sent flying. He spat out blood and crashed into the main hall behind him. The main hall was instantly turned into ruins, and Yan Nanshan was buried under the rubble. Qin Feiyang and the guards were also sent flying. They were covered in wounds and blood stained the sky. How is this possible? Even Uncle Yan is no match for him. Could it be him? Qin Feiyang's expression changed. He forcibly stabilized his body and used the phantom steps to grab Patriarch Dong's trio. "If you don't leave now, when will you?" A hoarse voice sounded. The Grand Elder quivered and a trace of joy appeared on his face. He decisively slapped at Qin Feiyang. His battle chi was like a rainbow and his power was astonishing. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with a cold light. A golden light appeared in his palm and he slammed it against the Grand Elder's palm. Boom! Qin Feiyang was sent flying again. The skin on his arm was torn and the flesh was exposed. The Grand Elder was also forced back a few steps. However, at the same time, he opened a portal and shouted, "Ancestor, Patriarch, leave quickly." Old Monster Dong and Patriarch Dong immediately ran towards the portal. "I won't let you escape." Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with madness. He stomped his right foot and a deep pit appeared on the ground. After stabilizing his body, he used the phantom steps and rushed towards the portal. At the same time, Yan Nanshan rushed out from the ruins. The pressure of the battle master roared and rushed towards the trio. Boom! However, at this time, not far away, 2 more battle chi appeared. One battle chi rushed towards Yan Nanshan. The other battle chi rushed towards Qin Feiyang. Yan Nanshan shouted, "Feiyang, retreat quickly." Chapter 465. Qin Feiyang stared fixedly at the battle chi, his eyes flickering. In the end, he chose to dodge. The lethality of the War Master was too strong, he could not withstand it. However, just as he dodged, the battle chi that was charging towards him suddenly turned in the air and charged towards the Dong family's patriarch and the other 2. How could this be? Qin Feiyang was stunned. This is bad. All of a sudden, his expression changed drastically as he roared, Uncle Yen, this person isn't here to save them, he's here to silence them. What? Yen Nanshan's expression also changed. Old Monster Dong and the other two heard this and their faces were filled with disbelief. He was here to silence them? Damned bastard. Since you are heartless, then don't blame us for being unjust. Qin Feiyang, I'll tell you right now, he is, the great clan elder led old Monster Dong and the Dong family's patriarch to flee in fear while roaring hysterically. However, just as he was about to reach the critical point, the battle chi arrived and drowned the teleportation door. Boom! Ah! Accompanied by an earth-shaking explosion, the teleportation door instantly turned into ashes. At the same time, 3 painful screams resounded through the clouds. Boom! Yen Nanshan also collided with the battle chi and was once again sent flying, his blood splattering across the sky. Damn it! Qin Feiyang roared like thunder, rushing into the sky and sweeping his gaze below. Suddenly, he noticed that not far away, there was a teleportation door. A black figure stood in front of the door, preparing to enter the teleportation door. Halt! Qin Feiyang roared and turned into a ray of light as he rushed over. However, the black figure completely ignored him and directly walked in, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. Whiz! At this time, Yen Nanshan chased to Qin Feiyang's side and asked solemnly, "Where is he?" Teleported away. Qin Feiyang stopped in the air, his gaze gloomy. Yen Nanshan said angrily, "Bastard, who is it?" Whiz! Qin Feiyang turned in the air and landed on top of the ruins, looking down. Old Monster Dong and the other two had already disappeared, leaving only some broken corpses and severed limbs on the ground. The portal had also been shattered. Qin Feiyang looked at the guards again. Everyone was riddled with scars. Some of them were lying on the ground on the verge of death, their eyes filled with terror. Some of them were barely able to stand. They scanned their surroundings with dazed expressions. Obviously, they did not expect that someone would dare to make a move in the manor head's residence. Whoosh! At this moment, an old figure descended from the sky. It was the prefecture lord. But when he saw the broken ground below, the old man's face darkened. "Greetings, manor lord." The guards hurriedly knelt down and kowtowed. Yen Nanshan also flew over and bowed. The manor head glanced at the guards before raising his head to look at Qin Feiyang and Yen Nanshan. He frowned and asked, "What's going on?" Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and kept silent. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with the old man. Because if the old man had returned earlier, the mysterious battle master would not have dared to make a move. Now, there was no evidence. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to find out the identity of the mysterious battle master. However, the old man was Ren Wushuang's grandfather after all, and he was also the ruler of the spiritual state. He did not dare to really blame him. The manor head said, "Tell me." Yen Nanshan said respectfully, "Manor head, this is what happened." However, at this moment, Qin Feiyang's eyes shone brightly as he waved his hand to open a portal. The manor head and Yen Nanshan looked at him in confusion. "Come to the Dong family's residence for support." Qin Feiyang shouted coldly and entered the portal, quickly disappearing without a trace. Just as the manor head returned, a black shadow suddenly appeared above the Dong family's residence. He was wearing a black mask on his face, so his face could not be seen clearly. As soon as this person appeared, he did not say a word. With a wave of his hands, battle aura surged and turned into a destructive torrent that blasted towards the Dong family below. Boom! With an earth-shattering bang, the entire Dong family's residence was instantly razed to the ground. What's going on? The people on the streets all turned pale with fright. Fatty and the Wolf King, as well as the man and woman, all looked at the black figure in bewilderment. Fatso shouted, "Brother Wolf, he must be that mysterious war master. Quickly stop him, I will immediately send a message to boss." "Fuck, why don't you go?" Wolf King glared at him fiercely. The other party was a genuine war master. Even if he had those 2 broken bones, he was no match for him. Fatso laughed sinisterly, with Fat Lord's little strength, wouldn't he be sending himself to his death if he ran over? Boom! The black figure pointed in the air again, and his battle aura turned into a long rainbow, once again blasting towards the Dong family below. Next. He did not stay any longer and opened a portal, preparing to leave. Fatso urged, "Brother Wolf, if you don't stop him now, it will be too late." "Fuck, let's go all out." Wolf King clenched his teeth, took out 2 ribs, and soared into the sky, rushing towards the black figure. It was indeed hiding nearby. When the man and woman saw the Wolf King appear, their eyes flashed with light. At the same time, the black figure also looked at the Wolf King in astonishment, but soon after, the expression in his eyes became extremely disdainful. He pointed his finger in the air, his battle aura gushing out like a sharp sword, explosively shooting towards Wolf King. "Broken bones, whether or not I can keep my life depends on you," Wolf King whispered, his eyes filled with seriousness. Boom! In the next moment, it turned into a muscular wolf. Its body was more than 10 meters tall. Grabbing onto 2 ribs, it crazily charged forward. Reckless fool. The black figure sneered and walked towards the teleportation gate without looking back. But at this moment, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air above the Dong family. "It really is here." As soon as he saw the situation here, a piercing cold light burst out from his eyes. He stretched out his arm, pointed his index finger in the air, and a red sword aura filled the air. It shot towards the teleportation gate in the sky. As long as the teleportation gate was smashed, this person would not be able to escape. What a troublesome little beast. The black figure was furious. With a wave of his hand, his battle aura roared, crushing the red sword aura as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. He aggressively rushed towards Qin Feiyang. Boom! At this moment, Wolf King and the battle aura arrow collided. Howl! Accompanied by a painful howl, Wolf King was immediately sent flying. His strong body was lacerated, and his blood dyed the void red. "Bastard, I will definitely kill you." Qin Feiyang was furious. He used the phantom steps, narrowly dodged the battle aura attack, and continued to rush towards the teleportation gate. "Humph! Kill me? You don't have the ability. Qin Feiyang, just wait for your death." The black figure sneered coldly and stepped into the teleportation gate. "Let's see where you can escape to today." An angry voice sounded. Yan Nanshan and the Mansion Master appeared almost at the same time. The Mansion Master immediately waved his hand, and an invisible force rushed towards the teleportation gate from all directions. Boom! The teleportation gate was instantly smashed. The black figure was about to disappear, but as the teleportation gate was smashed, he fell out of the void. Damn it! Why is the Mansion Master back? When he saw the Mansion Master, he could no longer remain calm and hurriedly fled out of the city. "You still want to escape in front of me?" The Mansion Master's eyes were cold, and his old body trembled. A shocking pressure, like a volcanic eruption, instantly shrouded the world. The black figure was immediately imprisoned in the void. "I want to see who you are," Yan Nanshan said coldly and rushed towards the black figure. "Qin Feiyang, ruffian wolf, I will kill you sooner or later." the black figure roared. If it weren't for Qin Feiyang and Wolf King stopping him, he wouldn't have fallen into this crisis at all. I will kill you now. Qin Feiyang swooped down with a murderous aura. Boom! But at this moment, a vast force descended from the sky and smashed the mansion master's pressure. It swept up the black figure and fled out of the city at lightning speed. Qin Feiyang and Yan Nanshan stopped at the same time, their faces full of shock. The mansion master was also stunned, and was instantly enraged. He leaped across the sky and chased after the black figure. What's going on? Yan Nanshan was a little confused. Qin Feiyang's eyes darkened, and he was about to chase after him. Boss, come here. Suddenly, Fatty's shout rang out. Qin Feiyang looked down and saw Fatso standing in the ruins, his face full of anxiety. Fatso was holding a palm-sized small beast in his hands. It was Wolf King, but at this moment, it was covered in blood and it was unknown whether it was dead or alive. Seeing this, Qin Feiyang's heart sank immediately and he swooped down hurriedly. Yan Nanshan also quickly followed. Whoosh! The two of them landed beside Fatso. Qin Feiyang asked, "What happened to the white-eyed wolf?" Fatso said in a low voice, "His aura is very weak, I'm afraid his life is in danger." Bastard! Qin Feiyang cursed, took out a healing pill, and stuffed it into Wolf King's mouth. Fatso said angrily, "It's no use, I have already given it a healing pill, but it didn't get better at all." Qin Feiyang's body and mind trembled. "Feiyang, don't worry." Yan Nanshan comforted him, then carefully checked on Wolf King's condition. "I knew that person was the war sect, but I still asked Brother Wolf to stall him. I was the one who harmed Wolf King, I really deserve to die." "Boss, do you think Brother Wolf will die?" Fatso grabbed his hair, his face full of pain and self-blame. "No. How can a scourge like him die so easily?" Qin Feiyang shook his head. Yan Nanshan stood up and said, "His injuries are very serious, if we don't think of a way, his life will really be in danger." Fatso's gaze trembled as he looked helplessly at Qin Feiyang, and asked, "Boss, what should we do? Brother Wolf can't die." "Right." Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he hurriedly said, "A healing pill with 5 Dan veins will definitely be able to save Brother Wolf's life. Quickly take a look inside the universe bag." Qin Feiyang took out the universe bag, searched for a moment, and shook his head at Fatso. "Let this old man take a look." Just as the three of them were at a loss, the palace chief flew over and landed beside the three of them, observing Wolf King's injuries. Gradually, the palace chief's old eyes revealed a trace of seriousness as he said in a deep voice, "Ruffian Wolf's sea of consciousness is broken, I'm afraid that no matter how good the healing pill is, it will be useless." "The sea of consciousness is broken." Qin Feiyang's face instantly paled, and said anxiously, "Old master, you are so strong, you must have a way, right? The sea of consciousness is where the soul resides, it is as important as the sea of consciousness." "I'm afraid I have no way." The palace chief shook his head. Chapter 466. The mansion master sighed deeply and said, "Don't worry, I can't do anything, but that doesn't mean others can't either." "Who has a way?" Qin Feiyang asked hurriedly, and strands of flames of hope burned in his eyes. The mansion master said, "I have an old rival, she has awakened a very special battle soul that has extremely strong healing abilities and can help repair one's consciousness." Qin Feiyang was overjoyed and asked hurriedly, "Where is she?" "I'll go find her right away." The mansion master said, "You can't rush this because she's not in Lingzhou." "Not in Lingzhou?" Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. The mansion master patted him on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, although Ruffian will remain asleep, his life won't be in danger." Hearing this, Qin Feiyang and Fatso heaved a sigh of relief. Yan Nanshan asked, Mansion Master, did you catch up to that person? The Mansion Master shook his head. Qin Feiyang and the other two were in disbelief. Even the Mansion Master couldn't catch up. How is that possible? Fatso asked, then do you know who that black figure is? The Mansion Master said, his voice is very unfamiliar, I'm guessing that he must have changed his voice. Qin Feiyang said solemnly, I still insist on my suspicion, it must be one of the 10 commanders. That's impossible. The Mansion Master said decisively. Yan Nanshan said, Mansion Master, you still don't understand the situation, Qin Feiyang, and I think that this matter must be related to the 10 commanders. The situation? The Mansion Master frowned and glanced at the increasing crowd, we'll talk about it when we get back. After that, he waved his hand and opened a teleportation gate, taking the lead to walk in. Take good care of it. Qin Feiyang reminded Fatso and sent Fatso and Wolf King into the castle, then entered the teleportation gate with Yan Nanshan. The next moment, the three of them landed in front of a courtyard. This was the residence of the Mansion Master. Entering the courtyard, the Mansion Master sat in front of a stone table by the pond and said, Tell me, what's going on? Qin Feiyang said, Call the 10 commanders here first. Hearing that, Yan Nanshan's heart skipped a beat. The mysterious war sect had been rescued and was definitely not in the mansion right now. Naturally, he would not be able to rush here. When the time comes, he would know who the mysterious battle master's identities? The Mansion Master frowned. He still didn't believe that this person was one of the 10 great commanders. However, he didn't say anything. He shouted, 10 great commanders, come to me immediately. His voice was like a great bell, spreading in all directions. Whoosh! In less than 3 breaths, one after another, figures tss there were men and women, old and young, and their auras were unfathomable. Exactly there were 10. The 10 commanders bowed and said, T. The Mansion Master nodded and turned to Qin Feiyang, saying, If you have anything to ask, just ask. Yan Nanshan whispered, Feiyang, did we guess wrongly? Impossible. Qin Feiyang shook his head and whispered, Uncle Yan, go to the Dong family again and see if there are any survivors. Yes. Yan Nanshan nodded, bowed to the Mansion Master, and opened the teleportation gate to leave. No matter how deep you hide, I will find you. Qin Feiyang muttered to himself. He glanced at Wang Hong and the others and cupped his fists, May I ask, where were you all just now? We heard the commotion just now, so we all went to the meeting hall. But when we rushed there, you were already gone. So we waited in the meeting hall for the Mansion Master's orders. Wang Hong said. Qin Feiyang asked, were they all there? Wang Hong thought for a moment and said, I think there were 2 people who weren't there at the time. Who? Qin Feiyang asked. Zhao He, 3rd young Master Chao, Shui Huiyun. Wang Hong turned to look at the 2 men and 1 woman beside him and said, if I remember correctly, you guys came later, right? The 3 of them nodded. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed as he looked at the 3 of them. Zhao He was an old man in white with white hair and a white beard. He was also wearing a pure white robe, like an otherworldly expert, exuding an otherworldly aura. 3rd young Master Chao was a young man. His body was quite thin, and he held a jade flute in his hand, giving off a scholarly aura. Shui Huiyun was also a young woman. She was beautiful, wearing a black lace dress that accentuated her graceful figure, making her look extremely charming. At the same time, the 3 of them also nodded at Qin Feiyang in a friendly manner. It was definitely impossible for Shui Huiyun, because she was a woman and could be excluded. As for Zhao He and 3rd young Master Chao, Qin Feiyang really couldn't tell. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said, may I ask the three seniors, where were you at that time, and what were you doing? Third young Master Chow laughed. At that time, we were chasing after a War Master realm beast outside the city, and it was only when our subordinates sent us a message that we found out that something big had happened in the city. Outside the city? Qin Feiyang frowned without leaving a trace, and asked, "You're all here?" "Yes, we're all here." Third young Master Chow nodded. Xue Huiyun and Zhao He also nodded in agreement. Strange. Qin Feiyang frowned. Wang Hong and the other 6 were definitely fine. But these 3 people were fine as well? Could it be that he had guessed wrongly? But who had the ability to hide Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue in the palace master's residence? Qin Feiyang turned to look at the palace master and asked, "Sir, are there any other war sects here?" The palace master said, "Other than this old man, there are only them." Wang Hong was puzzled. "Qin Feiyang, what exactly do you want to know?" The palace master said, "He is suspecting that the black figure from before is one of you." What? Qin Feiyang, you can't say this without any evidence. That's right, we are all reputable figures in the spiritual state. You will ruin our reputation like this. Wang Hong and the others immediately frowned, and there was a trace of dissatisfaction on their faces. Qin Feiyang said, "I have evidence." Wang Hong said, "What evidence?" At that moment, Qin Feiyang explained the whole story in detail. There's actually such a thing. When the palace master heard this, he immediately slammed his palm on the stone table, his old face full of anger. The 10 commanders' faces were also filled with bewilderment. Wang Hong said, "Qin Feiyang, call Wei Zhongyang out, I want to ask him face to face." With a thought from Qin Feiyang, Wei Zhongyang appeared out of thin air. "Greetings, Palace Master." "Greetings, Commanders." Wei Zhongyang immediately knelt on the ground and said respectfully. Wang Hong asked, "Is what Qin Feiyang said true?" "It's true." Wei Zhongyang nodded. Wang Hong said angrily, "How dare you? Do you know why Qin Feiyang and the others didn't expose their background?" Wei Zhongyang's body trembled, and he said, "Commander, please tell me." "It's the palace master's order, no one is allowed to leak it." "You actually told the Dong family and even asked them to kidnap his family. Tell me, how many lives do you have to kill?" Wang Hong shouted. "Sir, I know I was wrong, please spare my life." Wei Zhongyang hurriedly kowtowed and begged for mercy. It turned out that all of this was the palace master's idea. Qin Feiyang said, "Senior Wang Hong, there's no point in holding him accountable now." Wang Hong said, "Then tell me, what do we have to do to make you believe us?" "I don't know either. But Yi and Auntie Xue were locked up in the mansion. And the only people who have this ability, except for the palace master, are you guys." Qin Feiyang said. Third young Master Chow said, "In fact, it's very simple. Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue must have seen that person. Let them come out and identify him. This method is feasible." The palace master nodded. But Qin Feiyang didn't think so. This person was cunning and would definitely not show his true face. However, he still wanted to give it a try. With a thought, he took Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi out and said with a smile, "Auntie Xue, Yi, have you seen them?" The two of them looked at the 10 commanders. A moment later, Luo Qianxue shook her head and said, "No." Wang Hong asked, "Then have you seen the person who kidnapped you?" "Yes. But he wore a mask on his face, we don't know what he looks like." Luo Qianxue said. "This is a bit difficult." Wang Hong frowned. Suddenly, "Zhao," he said, "I know how to find the culprit." Everyone looked at him suspiciously. "Zhao," he said with a smile, "Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue must know where they are locked up. As long as we find this place, we will naturally know who this person is." "Yes." Wang Hong's eyes lit up. He looked at Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue and said, "Then describe the place where you are locked up for us." Luo Qianxue said, "We only know that it is a secret room, about 10 meters long. There is nothing inside, let alone any eye-catching signs." Wang Hong said, "Then how were you locked up?" Luo Qianxue said, "The entrance and exit are all through the portal. There is no sign, and nothing to prove it. The Dong family, the only one who knew, was also exterminated. It seems that this matter is more complicated than we thought." Xue Huiyun sighed. The others also frowned. Qin Feiyang had also been paying attention to the changes in their expressions, but he didn't see anything strange. The mansion master said with a smile, "Anyway, the truth of the Lu family's extermination is finally revealed. Qin Feiyang doesn't have to be imprisoned anymore, but, speaking of this, the mansion master looked at Wang Hong and said, "You promoted Wei Zhongyang, so you must be jointly and severally responsible." Wang Hong bowed and said, "I am willing to accept the punishment." Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said, "Senior Wang Hong also cherishes talents, but he was unlucky to meet a villain, so I hope the mansion master can give him a way out. In this case, this matter is over. Wang Hong, later you go and announce to the world that Qin Feiyang is innocent. At the same time, you 10 commanders, go and investigate for this old man. You must find that person for this old man. Dare to make trouble in this old man's mansion, I will not let him off easily. As for Wei Zhongyang and Qin Feiyang, you deal with them as you see fit." "Yes." Chapter 467. The mansion master said, "If there is nothing else, you can go now. We will take our leave." The 10 great commanders bowed, then turned and left. Qin Feiyang sent Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi into the castle. But at this moment, Yan Nanshan appeared out of thin air, leaned close to Qin Feiyang's ear, and whispered, "Except for some servants and children playing outside, everyone is dead." Qin Feiyang said, "The 9 clan elders are also dead?" Yan Nanshan nodded and said, "Yes, no one is alive. Even their bodies can't be found. Is there really no way?" Qin Feiyang muttered to himself, his eyes full of unwillingness. "What are you muttering about?" The mansion master looked at them in confusion. Yan Nanshan said, "Sir, it's like this. Just now, Qin Feiyang asked me to see if there are any survivors in the Dong family. The mansion master asked, 'Are there any survivors?' The 10 commanders also stopped and turned to look at Yan Nanshan. Yan Nanshan was about to say no. But at this moment, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, and he said, 'There are survivors.' N. Everyone looked at him in bewilderment. Yan Nanshan's eyes also flashed a touch of suspicion. Wang Hong asked, "Who?" "The 2nd clan elder of the Dong family." Qin Feiyang looked at the 10 commanders and said word by word, "He's not dead? That's great. He must know the identity of the mysterious battle master. Where is he now?" The 10 commanders were all overjoyed. Qin Feiyang was obviously bluffing them, and the result was already out. It was a failure. Because the 10 people's expressions were not abnormal. Give up? No. The white-eyed wolf almost died because of this. They can't just let it go like this. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Yan Nanshan and said with a smile, "Uncle Yan, where did you lock up the 2nd clan elder?" This, Yan Nanshan glanced at the mansion master and the others, hesitating. He didn't know what Qin Feiyang was doing, so he didn't know how to answer. "Don't worry, we're all on the same side here. We won't leak anything out." Qin Feiyang smiled. As he spoke, he gave Yan Nanshan a subtle look. What kind of medicine is this brat hiding in his gourd? Yan Nanshan was full of doubts, but he could not show it now. He had to cooperate. But how was he supposed to cooperate? Suddenly, His eyes lit up. It turned out that this brat was purposely setting up a trap to lure the snake out of its hole. After figuring this out, Yan Nanshan had a plan in his heart. He cupped his hands and said, reporting to the manor lord, although the second elder is not dead, he is severely injured and is currently in a coma. All right. The manor lord was overjoyed and asked, does anyone else know? No. When I found him, there was no one around, so I secretly sent him to the holy temple and placed him in my resting room. Yan Nanshan said. The manor lord said, well done, this matter must be kept a secret. Otherwise, when the mysterious war sect receives the news, they will definitely find an opportunity to silence him. Wang Hong said, how about this, we'll place him here with the manor lord. This way, even if that person receives the news, he won't dare to act rashly. I don't agree. Qin Feiyang said. Wang Hong frowned. Qin Feiyang, what do you mean? Don't tell me you don't even trust the manor lord? Qin Feiyang said, it's not that I don't trust him, it's because that person is too powerful. If we have to talk about safety, then my castle is the safest place. Yes, we'll place him in your castle. When he wakes up, immediately bring him to see this old man. This is the only clue, there can't be any mistakes. The manor lord warned. I understand. Qin Feiyang nodded. The manor lord waved his hand and said, then let's disperse. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Yan Nanshan and said, Uncle Yan, let's go to your resting room immediately. Yan Nanshan opened a portal. Qin Feiyang also sent Wei Zhongyang into the castle. Then, the two of them walked in one after the other. In the next moment, the two of them appeared in a resting room. Yan Nanshan immediately asked, Feiyang, are you sure it's really one of the 10 commanders? I'm sure. Qin Feiyang nodded. Yan Nanshan frowned, then will he take the bait? Definitely. Qin Feiyang sneered. Yan Nanshan said, if he really takes the bait, then you may be in danger. Qin Feiyang said, as long as we can lure him out, I'm not afraid of any danger, but now we have to plan well, there can't be any more mistakes. Yan Nanshan said, tell me, I'll cooperate with you. Qin Feiyang said, cunning people are usually very suspicious, his first step will definitely be to go to the Dong family to confirm. Yan Nanshan said, you can rest assured about this, I've already confirmed, not even a strand of hair is left. If that's the case, he will definitely believe it. The second step is to kill me. But before he kills me, he will definitely confirm if there are any war sect hidden in the castle. That includes you. Qin Feiyang said. Yan Nanshan frowned, if I don't secretly protect you and he attacks you, won't you be dead for sure? Qin Feiyang said, so, I have to find a war sect to hide in the castle. Yan Nanshan asked, can Fan Jian do it? No. Qin Feiyang shook his head, I also mentioned Fan Jian just now, the mysterious war sect will definitely pay attention to his movements. Then who are you looking for? Yan Nanshan frowned. Qin Feiyang said, I can't find any of the war sects in the prefecture, but I can nurture a few war sects. Yan Nanshan's eyes lit up, and laughed, yes, you have the 9-Chu yellow dragon Dan, it's easy for you to nurture a few war sects, but I have to warn you, you must nurture someone you can trust. I know this. Qin Feiyang nodded, lowered his head, and muttered for a moment. His eyes flashed with a trace of light, I thought of someone. Who? Yan Nanshan asked. Someone I can't trust, but I can work with. Qin Feiyang smiled, opened the teleportation door, and appeared in the sky above the inner hall. It's Qin Feiyang. This fiend is back again. When the disciples in the plaza saw Qin Feiyang, they couldn't help but narrow their eyes and whisper to each other. Qin Feiyang ignored them and flew directly to the cultivation palace. Swish! A purple-clothed man flew into the sky and blocked in front of Qin Feiyang. He said indifferently, Qin Feiyang, shouldn't you be returning to the Pill Fire Hall? What are you doing here? Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and said, aren't you being too nosy? Does the inner hall belong to you? Do I have to report to you where I go? The man blocking his way was the martial arts hall master. Qin Feiyang had long been unhappy with him, so he naturally wouldn't be nice to him. What's going on? Is he going to fight with the hall master? It's hard to say. This fiend isn't afraid of anything. There's nothing he doesn't dare to do. The disciples below whispered. The martial arts hall master's face darkened and said, what's with your attitude? A good attitude is for people who are worthy of respect. As for people like you who create trouble out of nothing, should be giving you enough face by standing here and talking to you. Qin Feiyang glanced at him indifferently, flew past the martial arts hall master, and entered the cultivation palace without looking back. Bastard! I'm going to tell the chief hall master to teach you a lesson. The martial arts hall master was furious. He opened the teleportation door and left quickly. On the first floor of the cultivation palace, Qin Feiyang walked in a long corridor. When the disciples saw him, they immediately hid in the cultivation room. It felt as though they had seen a devil. Qin Feiyang frowned and used the phantom steps to grab the arm of a disciple who was about to hide in the cultivation room. That disciple was instantly terrified and begged, Senior Brother Qin, there's no reason between us. Please don't kill me. Qin Feiyang was astonished and smiled bitterly, I'm not a murderous maniac. Is there a need to do this? Then what do you want? That disciple panicked. Qin Feiyang asked, which cultivation room is Dong Zhengyang in? Number 2. That disciple didn't even think and blurted out. Swish. Qin Feiyang immediately used his speed and rushed to the courtyard. What did he ask you? After Qin Feiyang left, a group of people immediately surrounded that disciple. That disciple said, he is asking about Senior Brother Dong Zhengyang. What? Is he going to deal with Senior Brother Dong? Everyone was surprised. Arriving at the bottom of the courtyard, Qin Feiyang jumped up and landed on the top floor. He glanced at the number on the stone door and walked straight to the door of the number 1 cultivation room. Dong! He reached out and knocked on the door. Not long after, the stone door opened, and a young man entered Qin Feiyang's line of sight. This person was about 1.8 meters tall, and his body was quite strong. He wore a black-fitted long robe, and his thick black hair draped over his shoulders. His eyes were like black gems, giving off a wild aura. But Qin Feiyang noticed that this person's eyes were a little red and swollen, and there was a trace of sadness between his brows. It seemed that this person already knew what had happened just now. What are you doing here? Dong Zhengyang asked, his voice low and hoarse. Qin Feiyang said, aren't you going to invite me in? You're not welcome. Dong Zhengyang coldly said and prepared to close the door. Qin Feiyang stretched out his hand, pressed on the stone door, and said indifferently, don't you want to avenge your father, your ancestor, and your dead clansmen? Dong Zhengyang gritted his teeth and said, I want to, but I know that I can't kill you now. Qin Feiyang shook his head, I thought that our enemy was the same person, but it turns out that you treat me as an enemy. Forget it, pretend that I never came. Finished. Qin Feiyang turned and left. Dong Zhengyang stood in front of the door, his eyes flickering, and said, come in. Qin Feiyang stopped, turned around and walked into the cultivation room. Dong Zhengyang also closed the stone door, and said, you want to cooperate with me? That's right. Although the reason why the Dong family has fallen to such a state is indeed related to me, that mysterious war sect is the main culprit. Because my original intention was only to chase your Dong family out of the state capital, and not to exterminate your entire family like I did to the Lu family. Qin Feiyang said. Dong Zhengyang said, there's no point in talking about this now. Just say it, how do we cooperate? Qin Feiyang's eyes became incomparably sharp, like blades of blades, and said, I will help you step into the war sect, and immediately step into the war sect. Then, we will work together to lure that mysterious war sect out. War sect. Chapter 468. War Master was a realm that everyone yearned for. However, there was an insurmountable gap between the 9-star War Emperor and the War Master. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many 9-star War Emperor in the state capital, but so few War Masters. Although Dong Zhengyang was confident that he could step into the War Master with his own talent, it would take time. Moreover, he was improving, and so was the mysterious War Master. So, if he could break through to the War Master now, he would undoubtedly save a lot of time and close the gap. However, Dong Zhengyang also had his concerns. Qin Feiyang was a cunning old fox. Cooperating with him was equivalent to asking a tiger for its skin. What if he was tricked by Qin Feiyang midway? Qin Feiyang said indifferently, if you don't cooperate with me, I will find someone else. I believe that there are many people who want to cooperate with me. Dong Zhengyang pondered for a moment, then nodded, all right, let's cooperate, but I have a condition. Speak. Qin Feiyang said. Dong Zhengyang said, during the cooperation, both sides are not allowed to stab each other in the back. Qin Feiyang nodded, of course, what's more, you are about to step into the War Master, I can't hurt you. Can you really let me step into the War Master immediately? Dong Zhengyang was surprised. Wait a moment. Qin Feiyang entered the ancient castle and opened the furnace to refine pills. Not long after, he appeared with a 9-chew yellow dragon pill and handed it to Dong Zhengyang, saying, take it, and in less than half a day, you will be able to break through. Dong Zhengyang's eyes lit up, but he grabbed the 9-chew yellow dragon pill and did not dare to take it. Qin Feiyang said, don't worry, it's not poisonous. Dong Zhengyang still did not dare to put it in his mouth. Although I am a ruthless person, I don't want to use such underhanded methods. Whether you take it or not, it's up to you. Come to the Pill Fire Hall's second alchemy room early in the morning to find me. Remember, you have to use the teleportation gate. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he sent the coordinates to Dong Zhengyang. Then, he opened the portal and strode away. Dong Zhengyang's eyes flickered as he looked at the dissipating portal. When the teleportation door completely dissipated, he lowered his head to look at the 9 tunes yellow dragon pill. He gritted his teeth and decided to take a gamble. He threw the pill into his mouth without hesitation. Next, he closed his eyes as if he was waiting for death. His appearance was rather comical. In the meantime, in a certain cultivation room, whoosh! Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. A peerless beauty was sitting cross-legged on a praying mat in the pill refining room. It was Ren Wuxia. Every time Qin Feiyang saw this cheap sister of his, he felt that she was very stunning. Seeing that Ren Wuxia was indifferent, as if she didn't notice, Qin Feiyang quietly walked up to her, ready to scare her. But just as he approached, Ren Wuxia suddenly opened her eyes and rolled her eyes at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang smiled awkwardly and said, sister, where's the lion-headed eagle? Ren Wuxia said, it and the blood eagle are still outside the city. What's the matter? Qin Feiyang said, I need its help. Let it come back first. Help? Ren Wuxia was slightly taken aback and asked, what are you going to do? Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and said, don't worry about it. Concentrate on your cultivation. Otherwise, the gap between you and me will be even bigger. Amazing, isn't it? Ren Wuxia glared. She remembered that when they first met in the ruins, Qin Feiyang was only a martial arts great master. But now, not only had he caught up with her, he had even surpassed her. She was already very unhappy. Now that Qin Feiyang said this, she was naturally even more unhappy. No, no. Qin Feiyang hurriedly waved his hand and said with a smile, when sister takes the Juku yellow dragon pill, her cultivation realm will advance by leaps and bounds. At that time, who will be your opponent? Don't talk nonsense. Ren Wuxuang glared at him and said worriedly, I've heard about ruffian wolf situation from Grandpa. Is it okay now? Grandpa said that its life will not be in danger. After I'm done with this, I'll take it to repair its knowledge. See. At the mention of Wolf King, Qin Feiyang's heart became heavy. Ren Wuxuang comforted, don't worry too much. Since Grandpa said there's a way, there must be a way. I know. I'll go back to the alchemy room first. When Old Eagle comes back, give it the Juku yellow dragon pill with 2 patterns. Tomorrow morning, tell it to come to the alchemy room number 2 to find me. It must use the transmission door. I don't want anyone to know that it's back. Qin Feiyang instructed. Okay. Ren Wuxuang nodded. After Qin Feiyang gave the coordinates, he opened the transmission door again and returned directly to the alchemy room number 2. Then, he began to refine battle chi pills. Now, not only Lu Hong recovered to the Battle King realm, but also Luo Qianxue and Lin Yi. He would need more battle chi pills. Therefore, as long as he has spare time, he must strive to refine more. At the same time, Wang Hong came forward and told the truth about the Lu family's extermination to the world. It wasn't until this moment that everyone realized that they had misunderstood Qin Feiyang. In a restaurant, a man and a woman sat opposite each other in a corner. The Dong family is almost exterminated now. Master asked us to capture old monster Dong and others. It can be said that we have failed. What should we do next? The woman asked. What else can we do? Now we can only find an opportunity to take away Lu Xingchen's body. And, we can't delay any longer. Otherwise, Lu Xingchen's body will rot. The man said. The woman frowned and said, who should we ask for the coordinates of the inner hall? Asking for the coordinates of the inner hall will definitely arouse suspicion. It's a bit troublesome. It seems that we can only ask the 2 beast emperors for help now. The man sighed. The woman said, then it's not too late. Let's leave the city immediately. The man nodded, got up, paid the bill, and was about to walk out of the restaurant. But at this time, a conversation caught their attention. I didn't expect the Dong family to be exterminated. Who is that black figure? Why can't even the mansion master catch him? Who knows? But then again, this Dong family is really stupid. Yeah, of all people to offend, they just had to offend Qin Feiyang. Isn't this courting death? It seems that the lesson of the Lu family didn't teach them a lesson. No, the Dong family is much better than the Lu family. The Lu family is really exterminated, but the Dong family still has Dong Zhengyang, the evildoer. I heard that some of the Dong family's disciples who went out escaped by luck. It seems that Dong Qing is still alive. Speaking of Dong Qing, it's really a pity. Indeed. She was originally a talented girl with a bright future, but she had to provoke Qin Feiyang. Now, she's a cripple. In the center of the restaurant's lobby, a few young men and women were sitting around a table, discussing. Dong Qing is still alive? The young man and the young woman looked at each other, and their eyes lit up. They immediately walked out of the restaurant and sped toward the Dong family. The restaurant was only 1 street away from the Dong family. The 2 of them soon arrived at the Dong family. However, all that was left of the Dong clan was a wasteland that was filled with a tragic aura. At this moment, a group of people gathered in front of the Dong family's gate, looking at the ruins in front of them, their eyes filled with sorrow. These people were the servants and disciples of the Dong family who were lucky enough to survive. Dongqing was standing at the back of the crowd, crying and heartbroken. Why, what did the Dong family do to offend you? Why are you so cruel? She clenched her fists, her face pale, and her eyes full of hatred. Miss, we want to talk to you. At this moment, a cold voice came into Dongqing's ears. Dongqing turned around and saw a man and a woman standing next to her. They were two unfamiliar faces. I haven't seen you in the Dong family. You don't belong to the Dong family. Who are you? Dongqing looked at them warily. The woman leaned over to Dongqing's ear and whispered something. At this moment, Dongqing's delicate body trembled. She looked at the two of them in surprise and said in a low voice, "Come with me." The three of them walked into a deserted alley. Dongqing turned to look at the woman and said in disbelief, "Why are you still alive?" The woman said, "It's a long story. I'll tell you later. Now, you just need to answer me. Do you want to cooperate with us?" Dongqing said, "What do I get from cooperating with you?" The woman said, "I don't know what you can get, but you don't have a choice now. I don't have many wishes. As long as you can help me kill Qin Feiyang and Ruffian Wolf, as well as that mysterious battle sect. If you can do it, I'll agree to go with you." Dongqing pondered for a moment and said, "We can't make the decision on this matter. We have to ask Master first. But I can tell you in advance that Qin Feiyang's potential pill formula was obtained from our master." The woman said, "Our master is powerful. As long as he agrees to help you take revenge, even if there are 10 Qin Feiyang, he can easily kill them." The man followed. Dongqing's delicate body trembled. Without hesitation, she said, "Okay, I'll go with you." The man said, "Take your clansmen with you." "Why do I have to take them with me?" Dongqing was puzzled. The man said, "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. It won't do you any good." "All right." Dongqing nodded. The three of them walked out of the alley and came to the gate of the Dong family. The man waved his hand and opened a portal. Dongqing looked at the clansmen and said loudly, "Everyone, follow me." After that, she took the lead and stepped into the portal. Although Dongqing's Sea of Qi was broken and her cultivation was crippled, she was still the apple of the Dong family's patriarch's eye. She used to be an inner disciple, so she was quite prestigious in the Dong family. And at this moment, she was undoubtedly the backbone of the Dong family. They heard about it. Although the others were a little confused, they all followed in. Outside the city, on the top of a giant mountain, the Dong family members appeared one after another. Dongqing glanced around, turned to the man and the woman, and asked, "Where is this?" The man and the woman looked at each other, knelt respectfully on the ground, and shouted, "Welcome Demonic Snake Emperor, Sand Whale Emperor." The Dong family members were surprised. Boom! Two terrifying auras appeared all of a sudden. A white jade demonic snake and a sand whale rose from the mountain below and landed on the top of the mountain. The demonic snake emperor glanced at the Dong family members and asked, "Why are there so few people?" The man said, "Master, something big happened in the city." Immediately, he briefly explained the matter of the mysterious battle sect slaughtering the Dong family. "So that's how it is." The two beasts showed a look of understanding. Chapter 469. Boom! The next moment, the two ferocious beasts erupted and instantly reverted to their true forms. They were dozens of feet tall, like two huge mountains in the sky. Then, they opened their bloody mouths at the same time. A gust of wind suddenly rose in this place. Apart from Dongqing and the man and woman, the rest of the people were swallowed alive by them. After sleeping for thousands of years, I really miss the taste of human flesh and blood. The demonic snake emperor laughed wildly like a devil, causing Dong Qing's beautiful face to turn pale. She looked at the man and woman and roared, "Why did you kill them?" The man said, "Sorry, this is Master's order. We have to do this." Sigh. The woman sighed deeply and said, "Dong Qing, I won't hide it from you. My Lu family was also exterminated by Master." "That's right, this woman was Lu Tingting." "What?" Dong Qing's body and mind trembled. She said in surprise, "The Lu family was exterminated by him, and you're still willing to work for him?" Lu Tingting pursed her lips and smiled bitterly. Who said she was willing? But her life was in the hands of others, and she couldn't resist at all. The Sand Whale Emperor said impatiently, "Cut the crap. Go to the inner palace immediately and get Lu Xingchen's body as soon as possible. Go back and report. Remember, no one will know." "Yes." The man bowed and looked at Dong Qing. Sigh. Dong Qing sighed and gave the man the coordinates. Then the man opened a portal, and the 3 people and 2 beasts walked in one after another. Whoosh! Soon they appeared in a dense forest. Lu Tingting looked around and looked at Dong Qing, asking, "Where is this?" Dong Qing said, "In front of us is the cemetery of the inner palace. If the inner palace disciples are unfortunate enough to die, they will be buried in the cemetery." The demonic snake emperor and the sand whale emperor swept up the 3 people and sped forward. 10 breaths later, a huge mausoleum entered their sight. In the cemetery, there were neat tombstones of the same height, and names were engraved on them. Around them, thick trees swayed in the wind, their branches and leaves lush. There were some wild flowers planted in front of each grave. They were competing with each other in terms of beauty, and they emitted a delicate fragrance. But even so, this place still seemed gloomy, and it made one shudder with fear. Brother Xing Chen's grave is there. Lu Tingting scanned the cemetery and her gaze suddenly locked onto the second tombstone in the last row. The 3 words, Lu Xingchen, were especially glaring. The Sand Whale Emperor said, "Hurry up and dig his corpse out." The man immediately stepped forward and started digging the grave. Lu Tingting walked up to the tombstone and looked at the words, Lu Xingchen, on it. Her eyes were filled with sorrow. He was once the pride of the generation, the center of attention. He even led the Lu clan to unprecedented glory. However, at this moment, it was buried underground. It was truly lamentable. Very soon, the man dug up the grave and carried out Lu Xingchen's corpse. He laid it flat on the ground and observed it carefully. Then, he looked at the 2 beast emperors and nodded, "Not rotten." The demonic snake emperor said, "Very good. Hurry up and fill up the grave. Don't leave any traces." The man said, "My lady, I'm afraid it's impossible to not leave any traces." Dong Qing said, "It's fine. Usually, no one will come here. Just fill up the hole and sprinkle some withered leaves on it." The man nodded and quickly finished everything. Then, he opened a portal and left with Lu Xingchen's corpse. The whole process was very smooth. No one noticed it. Time flew by. The next morning, Qin Feiyang finally stopped refining pills. After sending the battle chi pills to the castle, he sat in the lounge and closed his eyes to recuperate. The higher the grade of the pill fire and cauldron, the more mental strength he consumed. In the past, he could refine pills continuously for a month without a problem. But now, he felt a little tired after refining for a day and a night. However, the feeling of exhaustion was not very obvious. Whoosh! When the sun rose, a black beast shadow descended in the alchemy room. Qin Feiyang opened his eyes and looked up. He saw a black falcon flapping its wings and flying into the lounge. "Ayaya! Kid, I haven't seen you in a few years. You've become so awesome." Lion-headed eagle cried out. Qin Feiyang stood up and smiled, aren't you even more awesome now? Lion-headed Eagle's current aura was very strong. It was obvious that he had already stepped into the War Master. This is all thanks to you. This emperor also didn't expect that the little guy from back then would have today's achievements. Kid, we are good brothers. If there are any benefits in the future, don't forget this emperor. Lion-headed Eagle chuckled. Of course. Qin Feiyang laughed. Lion-headed Eagle smiled from ear to ear, as if he suddenly thought of something, and said, give this emperor some potential pills and potential pills. Why? Qin Feiyang frowned. Lion-headed Eagle said, Master, and this emperor's little follower will need it in the future. The master was naturally Ren Wuxia. The little follower was Shuang. Qin Feiyang was startled, and asked, didn't I already give the potential pill and potential pill to sister? Lion-headed Eagle laughed, Master has already given it to me. Right now, this emperor is an existence that has opened the 5th level of the Gate of Potential. Ugh! Qin Feiyang was stunned. Wasn't this cheap sister too generous? But when he thought back to the past, he felt relieved. Ren Wuxia had been in the ruins for more than 20 years, and the lion-headed eagle had never left her, and had even thought of ways to save her. Qin Feiyang took out 6 potential pills, put them in a jade box, and threw them to lion-headed eagle. Huh, you brat, you are indeed loyal. Lion-headed eagle was overjoyed. Qin Feiyang coldly snorted, if not for my sister, I wouldn't have bothered with you. Lion-headed eagle was not angry, because it knew that Qin Feiyang was just joking. Shua. Not long after. Another black figure appeared. It was Dong Zhengyang. His aura was extremely dense, and it was obvious that he had already stepped into the War Master. Dong Zhengyang was stunned when he saw Lion-headed Eagle. Lion-headed Eagle was also stunned when he saw Dong Zhengyang. Qin Feiyang asked, do you know each other? Lion-headed Eagle sneered, who doesn't know the genius of the Dong family? Dong Zhengyang raised his eyebrows, and said, Lion-headed Eagle, why are you here? What does it have to do with you? Do you want to fight? Back then, this emperor was able to beat you up until you ran all over the streets. Now, this emperor can still beat you up. Lion-headed Eagle looked at him provocatively. Dong Zhengyang's face darkened, and said in a deep voice, then come and try. Io, so awesome, this emperor is so scared. Lion-headed Eagle hid behind Qin Feiyang and cried out strangely, but its eyes were filled with ridicule. Qin Feiyang was stunned. It seemed that 20 years ago, these two fellows had formed quite a few grudges. Seeing that the man and the beast were about to start fighting, Qin Feiyang anxiously said, all right, now that we are friends, we should share a common enemy. Who's friends with him? Lion-headed Eagle's eyes were filled with disdain. I don't want to join hands with you either. Dong Zhengyang coldly snorted, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said, it is Ren Wuxiang's fierce beast, could it be that you are very familiar with Ren Wuxiang? Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly and said, Ren Wuxiang is the manor head's granddaughter. I'm not worthy to be associated with her. When I asked her for help, I actually gave her an elixir just like you. Dong Zhengyang suddenly realized. But in his heart, he felt that it was inconceivable. What kind of pill was this, to actually have such a terrifying divine effect? If Qin Feiyang had enough pills in his hands, wouldn't he be able to create a large number of War Masters in just a few minutes? Just thinking about it made Dong Zhengyang's heart tremble. He really couldn't figure out why his father, ancestor, and little sister had to provoke this person back then. He couldn't afford to offend them at all. Qin Feiyang looked at him and said indifferently, you guys go hide in the castle first, and be prepared to attack at any time. Dong Zhengyang and Lion-headed Eagle nodded. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the man and the beast immediately disappeared without a trace. With the Lion-headed Eagle guarding the castle, he was not afraid of Dong Zhengyang messing around. Next, Qin Feiyang opened a teleportation gate and whispered, "The fishing plan has officially begun." Then, he stepped into the teleportation gate and descended above the Dong family. Immediately, he realized that something was wrong. Didn't the Dong family still have remnants? Why wasn't there a single person now? What was going on? Shua. He swooped down and landed in front of the Dong family's gate. Qin Feiyang. When the crowd outside saw him appear, they all hid far away. Qin Feiyang turned his head and swept his gaze over, and asked, "Where are the rest of the Dong family?" Everyone shook their heads. "I know." Suddenly, a voice sounded from the crowd. Qin Feiyang looked over and saw a middle-aged man standing in the crowd, looking at him with some fear. "Where did they go?" Qin Feiyang asked. The middle-aged man said, "I don't know where they went either. I only saw a man and a woman appear yesterday and leave with them through the teleportation gate." "A man and a woman?" Qin Feiyang frowned. The Dong family had just been exterminated, and someone had already taken them away. Could it be a distant relative of the Dong family? Shua. With a flash, he entered the castle and asked Dong Zhengyang, "Does your Dong family have any other branches or distant relatives?" Dong Zhengyang shook his head. "That's strange." Qin Feiyang frowned and left the castle again. He looked at the middle-aged man and asked, "Besides the man and the woman, is there anyone else suspicious?" "No." The middle-aged man said. Qin Feiyang landed in front of the middle-aged man and said, "Tell me the details of the situation at that time." Seeing this, the others retreated in horror, keeping a distance from Qin Feiyang. The middle-aged man also wanted to run, but Qin Feiyang's pressure emerged and directly imprisoned him. He said, "I won't hurt you. Don't be nervous." The middle-aged man swallowed his saliva and told him in detail. "What? Dong Qing is not dead?" Qin Feiyang was dumbfounded. The middle-aged man said, "It is said that she was not in the Dong family at that time. It seems that she was out shopping with her friends and luckily escaped." "I see." Qin Feiyang was enlightened. He lowered his head and thought for a while, rubbed his forehead, and stopped thinking about it. Dong Qing had a deep hatred for him. As long as she was not dead, she would appear sooner or later. There was no need to speculate.